Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. It's Bayer Leverkusen versus West Ham United live from the BayArena. It's a big game. It's a scary game from a West Ham perspective. Of course, Gio, Gonzo not here, conspicuous by their absence. They are doing the first ever Hammers Chat live show, doing the obviously at the Colour Factory where we held our event for the final of the Europa Conference League last year, doing another one of those right now. Currently, they're off doing that. So unfortunately, it's me for the next too long. Wish me luck. Haven't had my hair cut. Sorry, Blue. Unfortunately, thought that would have been the perfect excuse for being late. In reality, I was on the toilet. That's the way it goes, right? It's just the way it goes. But the teams have already been announced, not just because I'm late, but because it's the Europa League, obviously, so they get announced earlier. You can see them rolling across the bottom of your screen now, but let's get a bit deeper into those, shall we? We have, of course, a poll going at the moment asking how you feel about them. You have 4 selected options. You have I love it, I like it, I dislike it, or I hate it. Feel free to get your opinions in now. However, let's get in there with the lineup, shall we? West Ham lineup as such. Fabianski starts in goal with Sufal, Zuma, Mavropanos, Cresswell, and Emerson in defence. Ward-Prowse and Souček start in central midfield together with Lucas Paquetá and Kudus on either side of Mikhail and Antonio. Maybe. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Obviously, hands forced very much. Areola out, Alvarez out, and Bowen out. Made it feel like there was going to be... I mean, not made it feel like, it meant there had to be big changes, right? What the heck were you going to do? Do you know what? FBL, I would ban you, but you've said it's great, so we'll take it. If you spam it too much, then I will, but you've said they were great. Yeah, I feel like there were going to have to be big changes, right? Realistically, you're looking at the sense of Cresswell coming in is the big decision, and I don't necessarily blame it. I think it's probably the right decision. You're going up against a team who play 5 at the back. They're going to be very difficult to break down. We're going to need something in there. We're going to need something, some form of form. We're going to need some form of difference that... How do I word this? We're going to need something different. We can't just do the exact same thing, because we saw against Wolves when we did play against the 5 at the back that realistically that wasn't really working for us until we changed up the system. We put on Cresswell, we moved Emerson a little bit further forward, and we started moving around with that sort of 4/5 hybrid system that we were doing back in the day with Cresswell and Masuaku. And let's be real, Emerson is essentially just a bigger upgrade on Masuaku. He's like Masuaku, but if he's good at like loads of things, as opposed to just being quite fast and a slightly good dribbler, right? And so him going with this, specifically this sort of these two together, is interesting, and I think probably the right option. I saw before the game, I think, where is it? Let me scroll past all of my compliments on my BJ skills, which thank you very much again. Ralph here was saying Cresswell's going to get ripped apart. I can see a definite yellow card coming. See, I don't necessarily disagree with Ralph here. What I would say personally is that we're going to get ripped apart. We don't have Alvarez, and without Alvarez, you need to do something different, because we just don't do it. And I think maybe if we still had Bowen, we would have been able to make the sort of change that... Subscribe to... I was going to point down. You're not there. Subscribe to Breezy. Come on, what are we doing now? You'd have to do something different. And before, when we had Bowen, you could have made the argument that the lineup we played in the game the other day when we didn't have Alvarez. Who was it? Tottenham. When we sort of played the 4-1-4-1, there was some slightly different things going. Souček was a bit deeper, that kind of stuff. Maybe that might have worked, but again, without Bowen, you are just limited in your options. And I think this is probably the best way of going around it, because we are going to have to not only come up with ways of stopping them where we can't usually, Alvarez isn't here, so we can't do our usual thing, but we are also going to have to figure out a way of beating a 5 at the back system. And I think Cresswell moving up into those sort of inside channels, coming in for those crossing from deep positions, while Emerson makes space ahead of him, making runs intelligently like we saw in the previous game against Wolves, I think that's probably the strongest argument. Outside of that, I think the rest of the team picks itself, realistically, right? You look at it, you say, we don't have Areola, so Fabianski has to go in regardless. You could have made an argument for Ben Johnson over Sufal, but I don't necessarily disagree with the idea of putting in the experienced guy, the guy you trust more. I spoke to Jack on Hamalytics this week, And the idea of like, if you ask me which one of Soufal and Johnson do I trust more, it would be Vladimir Soufal. Therefore, he probably goes in. Even if I like Ben Johnson more, I think I trust Soufal more, if you see what I'm saying. So he would have to go in. Zuma Mavropanos is obvious, especially if the other options are Ogbonna and Aged. Like, it's just, those are the correct options. Emerson is obvious. Souček and Ward-Prowse, we don't really have anything else, so it sort of has to be that. And actually, Ward-Prowse in a different system where he's allowed to get forward and press a bit more, like we saw against Wolves, was really effective. So hopefully he can do that again. And then these front three pick themselves. So really, this is only the difficult. This is only the difficult one, and I feel like it was the right option. But realistically, when Ralph, for example, said he's going to get ripped apart, I don't necessarily disagree. I think he's going to be in for, where is it? I just saw it here. It flashed past my eyes. Where is it? I saw someone say Cresswell was going to be in for a tough night. He's going to be in for a very, very tough. There we go. Martin, he says he's going to be in for a tough night. 100% agree. But realistically, we're going to be in for a tough night because we just don't have the personnel that we need for this. Which sucks, but it definitely is. Defo4231 says Charlie Kerr, Emerson, left wing. Yeah, I feel like the reality here is that it's going to be a 4-2-3-1 in attack, and then in defense you're going to revert back into that 5 in the back shape. You know, you'll have Emerson dropping deeper, you'll have Soufal dropping deeper. It will create a 5 of Cresswell sort of playing that left centre back role, and then when you go forward, Emerson's going to have the right to go as far forward as he wants and not have as much defensive responsibilities, which if anything should help Emerson a little bit, because I'm not going to lie, as much as I love the guy, he's still not defensively the best player you've ever seen in your life. Clutching at straws. Yeah. Paul, I'll be honest with you, I 100% am clutching at straws. I think I said on the I've said on every show, you know, I've been on the patreon.com/chat, link in the description below. I've said it in private conversations. Look, do I have much hope for today? No, not really, if we're being honest about it. I'm pretty scared. But you sort of have to look at it and be as positive as you can be. Do I think that means we're going to win? No, I'm just trying to get to where we're at and then figure out how that benefits us. And like I said, I think it's the best option, even if I am clutching at straws, because don't get me wrong, I 100% am. The bench, for those interested, Anang and Knightsbridge are both on the bench with Aged, Ogbonna, Ings, Johnson, Cornet, Mubama, Urfi, Orford, and Casey. I'll have that running across the bottom of the screen. It's bottom of the screen in positional order. Anang, Knightsbridge, Johnson, Ogbonna, Aged, Casey, Orford, Urfi, Cornet, Ings, and Mubama. Look, it's a bunch of young players on there, as is expected given European football. You always get to see them. Will any of them get on? Probably not. Outside of that, yeah, it's just the players who are fit. It's just the players who are fit. I can see a situation which Ben Johnson comes on. I could maybe see a situation which Aged comes on, although I don't think it's likely. I think if we were somehow leading and maybe you were to take off, say, a Cresswell and put in Aged and go for a more traditional looking back three, I could see that happening, but it is what it is. Cornet, Ings, Mubama. I mean, it's difficult, right? Because realistically, it just is the way it is. Those are the fit players that we have left. Where are we at? Mr. Hammer says we can't low block our way to a win against the top team. He won't change anything mid-game. I disagree with both things. I think you can low block your way against the top team. I think that's literally the right way to do it most of the time, is to low block against them. It obviously depends on your position and how they play, but I think it's probably the right way to do it most of the time. And he won't change anything mid-game. Just did it against Wolves, changed it completely, and made some changes that none of us would have expected. For example, subbing defenders at halftime. I think he's shown that he's willing to do it at times. Does he do it frequently enough? Hell no. He needs to do it way, way more frequently than he does. But he has shown that he's willing to do it at least to some extent. It's just whether he does it here, Mr. Hammer, totally different question. And I don't I don't think it's likely. James saying the bench is woeful. Board plus Moyes should be ashamed of themselves not investing in January. Yeah, and letting go of people who are just useful. I wasn't against letting go of two of Ben Rama, Fornals, and Cornet, for example, but you had to keep at least one of Ben Rama and Fornals, and in my opinion, it had to be Fornals. I think letting go of both of them is insane. It just makes our bench so much weaker. and it means the changes that we want to see make just can't be made as often. It's so stupid. It's so silly. Mike says so. No subs being made tonight. Pretty much. I mean, it'll be the same subs as we always see. As Avid says here, maybe Ings ain't nothing. It'll be the exact same. We'll see some subs earlier. Don't get me wrong. It'll be Johnson will come on earlier. You'll probably see Ings come on at some point. Outside of that, like I say, I could see a situation which Agerd comes on. It's unlikely. I could see a situation in which Cornet comes on, semi-likely. Outside of that, I could see a 5-minute run out for Mubama, depending on how things are going. But yeah, it's a difficult one. Let's have a look at the Bayer Leverkusen lineup. Have they actually posted it as a thing? Oh, they have. There you go. Hadn't done it earlier. Right, here we go. Bayer Leverkusen. And you're gonna, as always with Europe, you're gonna have to pronounce. You're gonna have to forgive my pronunciation. I didn't. No one gave him praise, Maggie. No one gave him praise. I gave him praise for changing things. I didn't give him praise for not starting people. I said on the preview to that game I would have started Antonio, and I said during it that I disagreed with the way he went about it. But he did change it. You can't act like he didn't. That's just a fact of life. It's not a praise thing. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. I'm not trying to praise it, proper. Right, they line up as such. You start with Kovar in goal. Stanisic, Tar, and Tapsoba in defence, with Frimpong and Grimaldo on either side of them. You've got Palacios and Xhaka, with Wirtz and Adli ahead of them, with Patrick Schick, one-time West Ham target, starting up front. Their bench, run through it very quickly, and I'll put it up across the bottom of the screen as well, just in case it's easy to read. Hidraki, Lom, Hikape, Kusunu, Andrich, Arta, Puerta, that's how I'm going to say it. Definitely wrong. Hoffman, Teller, Borja Iglesias, and of course, Victor Boniface. A really strong lineup. Not entirely shocked by it. As Nvidia says here, no surprises. It's very strong. It's very scary. There are very few players there that I wouldn't take, for example. It's just a very concerning. It's the thing is, no matter what they were going to do, it was always going to be concerning. But you look at it, it is very strong. The people there, is Klozik injured? Yeah, he is currently. Klozik, again, another West Ham target, is currently injured. If you look at it, Wirtz is obviously someone who is just massively dangerous. If you're not too familiar with Leverkusen, you hear a lot about how they're doing stuff, but you're not really watching the Bundesliga. Your people you want to be looking out for. Wirtz is a massive danger, a huge upside. He is unreal. Scored in 7 seconds or something for the German national team the other week. He's a brilliant player. I sort of felt like he wasn't going to meet his potential at one point, but he's come roaring back this season in a big way. Tar, obviously another West Ham target, really good centre back, big guy. I suspect maybe just will be plodded on Mikel Antonio just to hold him potentially. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. Patrick Schick, very good forward. Mobile, can do lots of different things. I've always really liked Patrick Schick. When we were linked with him, I was high on it. He had a really good. Was it a World Cup or Euros last time out? He was lightning and it was brilliant. Grimaldo and Frimpong on either side are ridiculous as wing backs. Frimpong gets a lot of plaudits, but Grimaldo, who's been around for a long time, I mean, as a pair of wing backs go, that's pretty unreal if we're being honest about it. And then the man who most people know, Granit Xhaka, having an absolutely brilliant season, scoring goals, setting things up. He's gone back to Germany and he's doing absolute bits. This isn't the Granit Xhaka, from Arsenal. This is a very different guy. Might have the same temperament, but in terms of ability, very good. I mean, it's just an incredibly strong side, and even when you look at the bench, Hikape's great. Obviously, you've got Teller, who's brilliant. Boniface is brilliant. I mean, there's just Borja is great. They've got a lot of really good players. Really good players. It's a scary team. It's not one I'm particularly looking forward to not particularly looking forward to facing, but realistically, it is what it is. It is what it is. I think there's a lot of pressure on them tonight, and I think there's not as much on us, and I think that can only benefit us if I'm being honest about it. But those are the two lineups. Now we've gone through them in detail. I want to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible, how confident are you of a West Ham result this evening? Like I say, no Gio Gonzo, so that means no bet as well. Simply because, I'll be honest with you, I just don't have access to betting apps. I just don't use them. It's not for me. It's not for me, betting. I've never been a betting guy. And so we won't have a bet this evening, unfortunately. We won't have any of those sort of things to go through. But we'll have plenty of other ways in which the chat can get involved. And I hope you join me for the rest of the time. Because again, no Gio Gonzo, which means I will be live all the way up till the beginning of the game, first half, half time, second half, and then there will of course be a live match review straight after the game as well, which will also be me. So hey, stick around and get involved, because there will be lots of ways for you too, even if there is no bet. Like I say, a difficult thing. If it comes to confidence levels, I can't act like I have high confidence levels. I do genuinely believe. How do I word this? I do genuinely believe that on our day we can take out anyone. I do genuinely believe that on our day we can beat anyone. Genuinely, I really do believe that. But I feel like that has to be with our full 11. I feel like that has to be with Bowen, and that has to be with Alvarez. Fabianski and Areola, I think, can be a bit more interchangeable in that sense. But in order for us to do what we do best and to play our best and to be able to stop teams while also damaging them as well as we can going forward, realistically, I feel like it has to be with our stronger. And as Frem's saying here, Alvarez would be a big miss. Without him, I feel like it's difficult to justify. It's difficult to justify the fact that we will go into this and go, on our best day, we can do it. Can we still do it? Yes. Like I say, I think there is a lot of pressure on Bayer Leverkusen today. A lot of pressure. I feel like realistically, now they are in the position they are in the league, this feels like their big thing. It's no longer right to be, how do we balance the league and the Europa League and blah, 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 blah. They can actually really put everything into the Europa League and still probably win the Bundesliga title, and then they get a double. And that would be like winning one or the other is already a big enough achievement. Winning both is unreal. The thing is, I spoke to Jack yesterday, right? When we were doing Analytics, and Jack's been watching a lot of footage of Bayer Leverkusen, has been going through their results and sort of figuring it out. And Jack was definitely more confident than I was. I still don't know if I would describe Jack as massively confident, but would be more confident than I was. My take on it is, realistically, do I think we're going to win? No, probably not. But if we take this away, even if it's only 1-0, even if it's, to be honest with you, even if it's 2-0, genuinely, that second leg at home with our players back, with Bowen back, hopefully, definitely with Alvarez back, then whatever you want it to be, Rich, whatever you want it to be. If you want result to be a West Ham win, if you want a result to be a draw, then you can say whatever you want. It's sort of a bit open-ended for a reason. If we go back to the London Stadium with a 1-0, a 2-0 loss, 2-1, it's not the worst thing, because with our players back at home in that second leg, and we've shown time after time that our home form in those second legs, the atmosphere gets up for it, the team gets up for it. I feel like there is something going on there. That means we could take it to them, but it does require something in this game. It does require us not getting rolled. I'm not concerned about losing 3-0 and all this other sort of stuff. We'll get onto score predictions later. I'm certainly not concerned by that, but I am. But I also don't think that we're gonna rock up and it be like other Europa League games where we've absolutely battered them. To be honest, I don't see that happening. We do have bells. We do definitely have bells. I bought a whole new nest of them literally about 2 hours ago. There was a whole new nest in the fridge ready. Steve B saying, just don't concede early doors. Old adage, first 10, keep them out. The pressure will be on them, but need an outlet with Antonio Kudus. Yeah, strongly agree with that. I feel like our whole shtick, our whole bit is to defend early. If we can get an early goal as well, that's even better for us, deep in there, spring on the counter, that kind of vibe. So as long as we keep him out for a while, I feel like our confidence levels will grow. It is, like I say, going to be a ridiculously difficult game. And I might be saying confident result, but the wrong result there. I might be saying stuff that is making you think I am more confident than I am. Because if I was to put a number on it, my G, how are you? The NIITS massive in the house representing. How are you, sir? How are you? If I was to put a number on it, it certainly wouldn't be a 0. It would probably get 4, somewhere around there. Stevie B, Stevie 50. Good to see, sir. Both at 4s, for example. Probably somewhere in and around there. The Vidius is bringing up something that is a big concern for me, which is that midfield. Souček and Ward-Prowse. Again, with the 3 at the back system, it should... Oh, Fenerbahce are fighting their way back against Olympiacos. It should be able to deal with it a little bit better. But again, without Alvarez, it's so difficult to see how that midfield can really effectively stop them. But if they do want to overcommit and sort of overload the middle sector, get Frimpong and Grimaldo really far forward, it leaves space out wide for your Kudus and your Antonio to drift into. So maybe that plays into our hands a bit. But again, I'm sort of clutching at it and seeing how these things could benefit us while also admitting that they're goddamn terrifying. Exactly. It's basically what William says, right? We play teams as strong as them regularly. Sometimes we beat them, often we don't, but always a chance. And that's kind of the vibe, right? I think everyone constantly tells me how the Premier League is the best league in the world and how our teams are so superior to everyone else and all this other stuff. Not something I agree with personally, but literally non-stop telling me about it. We go up against teams that are as good, if not better, than Bayer Leverkusen fairly regularly, and we've gotten results against them this year. I think if you ask most people who are a better team, Bayer Leverkusen or Arsenal, they would probably say Arsenal. We've got a result against them this year. Again, on our day, we genuinely can do it. It's just incredibly unlikely. FPB says, Johnson or Emerson could do a solid job instead of Cresswell. Cornet has shown that he can operate on the left wing previously. Yes, I think I agree. I agree with that. And I think if you asked me, I saw someone in the chat earlier saying, I can't remember who it was. It was probably just before I went live. It might have been Ralph and the Sun again. I'm not sure. But someone in the chat was saying, for example, that Johnson deserved to start ahead of Cresswell. And if you said to me, if the question was who deserves to start more, Cresswell or Johnson, I would say Johnson every single day. But if you're talking to me tactically, who should start, it's Cresswell. And I think if we're looking to do the usual 4-2-3-1 thing that we have been doing for the rest of this season, then Emerson is the best option for that. If not Emerson, if you're pushing him forward, then Johnson. But if you're looking to do the sort of hybrid thing, which is I suspect we would be as we did against Wolves, and that's the way we're going to try and find something against the 5 at the back team who are very, 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 very good, then Cresswell is the best option just because he's the only one who can do that hybrid thing. Emerson can't really do it. Johnson can't really do it. He's sort of shown signs of being able to do it, but like not particularly. So in that sense, it has to sort of be Cresswell, which sucks because I think Johnson deserves it more and I prefer Emerson. But in that sense, it has to be Cresswell, although Emerson's still playing. So I guess I don't mind in that sense. You know what I mean? Garino says that bench is a side indictment of our January transfer window. Strongly agree. Strongly agree. There's a reason why every time we do videos, I bring it up. I don't like to do it, and I don't want to continuously relitigate January. But equally, I mean, the evidence is there for all to see, and it's only going to continue to cause us problems. It might benefit us in the summer, but for now, it's going to continue to cause us problems. Lewis says, if they score inside the first 10 minutes, I'm worried about another Arsenal-like result. Negative, I know, but I can't help but feel that way. Look, no one's gonna shoot shots at feelings here, Lewis. Don't worry about that. Whether we disagree or agree is a different story. But shooting shots at feelings, I don't believe that's the right thing to do. It's going to be difficult to fight that emotion. Let's be real about it. It's going to be difficult to fight that emotion. I don't want to say it's completely left for dead, because I do think this might be a game where we grow into it. But if we can get a really strong start, then that'll be massively beneficial for us all. But I do feel like this is probably going to be one of those games where we slowly grow our way into it, as opposed to starting like a house on fire. Sadly, because again, if we got a goal in the first 10 minutes, then we'd be laughing. Depends on what you mean by result. A win 3, a result leaves us with a chance at LS 6 or 7. Yeah, that's fair, Wayne. That's fair. And I deliberately leave it vague for that reason. I feel like that's probably a fair way of saying it. I think I'm probably at a 4 in terms of I'm probably somewhere at a 4 or 5. No. Do you know what? I'm probably at a 5 for leaving us with a chance at the LS. A win, I'm probably a lot less. So let's average it out at a 4. But win is certainly a lot lower than the other one. Win is I'm probably pretty much actually where you are, Wayne, to be fair. We need to hit them on the break, take it for a chance. 100% William. We need to find ways of being our chaotic best. We need to find ways of we need to be quick on the transition, like, because they are going to commit Grimaldo and they are going to commit Frimpong, and when they do that, we need to be able to ping it as hard as we can and as fast as we can forward. We need to be able to be direct. It doesn't necessarily have to be long balls over the top, but we need to be direct. We need to be quick, and we need to be able to really take advantage of those opportunities, because without that, I don't see where we're going to be able to break them down as often. Thomas says both Paquetá and Kudus had weak games against Wolves. Hopefully they can hit form again. Yeah, I agree. And I think, look, cometh the stage, cometh the man. Now's the time for them to prove it. But yeah. Dango says 6. I'm optimistic they'll double up on Kudus. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably going to happen. But hey, listen, they can't double up on everyone, right? We have Antonio. You want to double up on him. You have Paquetá. You want to double up on him. He'll be deeper as well. And you have Kudus. You want to double up on him. You can't double up on everyone. You know? You do that at your own peril. And what have you got? Thomas Souček charging forward into those gaps. We get Emerson doing crosses. I mean, listen, we are going to see tonight, almost guarantee, an early Cresswell cross onto a Thomas Souček header. Whether or not these go in or not is a different story, but we're going to see that. Double up on them all you want. If you want to leave these people space, you want to leave these people space. CVP wanted Johnson to start. I always want him to start. I love the guy. And if he started ahead of Soufal, I certainly wouldn't have been upset about it. I probably arguably would have gone for it myself personally. I don't blame Moyes for doing it, but I probably would have gone for it, you know. 6.5 says Hammers. Dean is here for the whole shebang. Let's go. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm struggling. My life is I've not slept a whole bunch. They're doing roadworks outside my house again. Not slept a whole bunch, and I'm not looking forward to several hours of talking. But hey, if you are here, please do subscribe, hit the like button, because it helps us out massively. It means that when someone types in, you know, West Ham, Leverkusen, we're the first thing that comes up. So hit that like button, helps us out a huge amount. And then subscribe, because we've got live match review straight after this, as well as videos going up tomorrow and everything else in the build up to the Fulham game. What's long for the Fulham game? Stuart said 10 exhausted outfields players versus a fresh, rotated, motivated champions elect. Yeah, when you word it like that. when you word it like that, Stuart, it's a concerning time. It's a concerning time. Thank you, Christophe. Massively appreciate it. Listen, yeah. Here's the thing. They will be concerned about this just as much as we will, right? Maybe not to the same degree. Let's be honest about it. Maybe not to the same degree. Not going to sit here and claim that they're going to be, as if you ask Leverkusen chat what their confidence levels on a scale of 1 to 10 are, they would be anywhere near as low as ours. No, they'll probably be significantly higher. But they're going to be looking at this and going, well, Thomas Souček is a threat. Well, Antonio is a threat. Kudus is a threat. Paquetá is a threat. They're not going to be looking at it and thinking, you know, this is all sunshine and roses. There's definitely going to be some problems there. It's just whether or not we can live up to that. All of it, P guys. I'm not going to lie, just get it all in there. Jeremy says maybe on home ground, but certainly not away from home. Kudus gets 2 goals tonight, says AK. The worst thing is Greeno, right? And if you look back over the history of Hammers Chat, and I'll be honest with you, like listen, I've been here since the beginning. Duke, thank you very much, by the way. Very kind of you, Duke. By the way, Duke, if you want to come on for 5-10 minutes, you're more than welcome to, bro. Send me a you have my WhatsApp. Send me a message, and I'll happily send you the link. Yeah, if you look across the history of Hammers Chat, I was known as the negative one. which is crazy given where I'm at now. As people call me off almost ignorantly positive. But yeah, no, I was known as the negative one for a long time. Been here since the start, so it's wild. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's very kind of you. It's very kindly necessary. We did have one troll, but he was saying I was good at BJs, so I left him to it and he went away. So it's the way it goes. You gotta respect it, you know. You gotta respect it. He was giving me props. But yeah, I feel like it's weird now being the flip of the other side. Serious, good to see you. Thank you. It's gonna be a long one. But Gio and Gonzo, in case again you joined just now and you missed it and you weren't aware, they are of course at the Hammers Chat live show that is happening in Stratford tonight at the Colour Factory. We are doing something similar to what we did for the final of the Europa Conference League, where we had an event there, private Hammers Chat room with loads of Hammers Chat patrons and subscribers, all going on. And Gio and Gonzo will be doing a half-hour talk sort of live show, the first ever Hammers Chat live thing we've ever done. I was sort of supposed to be there, but life gets in the way of those sort of things sometimes. So instead, I'm here with all of you. What was I going to say? If we do somehow get through, if this somehow happens, just so you know, Gio and Gonzo mentioned it on the video this morning, but if we do somehow get through, we will be doing a very similar thing for the semi-finals. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, if you're a patron, you get discounts to go and all that sort of stuff. But if you have only just looked, that's where they are. Let's have a look at this poll and then we'll start another one. I asked, how do you feel about the starting 11? That being, you love it, you like it, you dislike it, or you hate it. Let's have a look at where we're at with that and then we'll start another poll. When YouTube decides to load it. Can you load it? There we go. Okay. Of the almost 1,000 people who voted, 4% of people said they hated it, 9% of people said they loved it, 27% of people said they, disliked it, and 58% of people said they liked it. I don't know how I felt about that. I didn't know which way I felt like that one was going to go. That's an interesting one. That's genuinely an interesting one. I wasn't entirely certain which way that was going to go. I couldn't decide where I was going to put it in. I knew it would be like it or dislike it. I knew it wouldn't be one way or the other. But interesting that it's gone that way. Very interesting that it's gone that way. As I pull up Discovery Plus, let's get another poll in there, shall we? Let's do result. Predict the result. Leverkusen win. Draw. West Ham win. I feel like it's going to be very heavily lopsided, but I'm interested to see the exact lopsidedness of it all. There we go. Poll in chat now. Feel free to get involved. A draw would put us in an incredibly strong position, James. I think that's the thing with tonight, right? Is like we don't necessarily need the win; they need the win. If we can come out of this with a draw, then that puts us in a really, really strong position. I've got the David Moyes interview on in the background, but just turn it up slightly, see if I can hear anything. Yeah, that puts us in an unbelievably strong position. Whether we can get that, they are there if the people vote for it. They are there, but listen. Even a 1-0 loss puts us in a strong position, if I'm being honest about it, because there is a hell of a lot of pressure on them tonight. A hell of a lot of pressure. This isn't a situation which Bayer Leverkusen can feel like, you know, they don't want to go. They've seen what we can do at the LS. They will have known about this previously. They've seen about how strong we have been in Europe over the last couple of years, but specifically when we go back to the LS and we've pulled off results that we shouldn't have pulled off, you know. They know that. So it's really a huge thing for them to win tonight and to do it in a way which puts us in a hugely awkward position in the next game. I don't think that they're going to be look, they're going to know pressure. They've dealt with pressure this season already, but like realistically, that's not something we can completely discount. If Leverkusen really go for it, they can go through on tonight's result alone, says Old Man. Yeah, I don't I don't necessarily disagree with you, sir. I don't necessarily agree with you. I don't necessarily disagree with you, is what I should say. Sorry, I don't know how I worded that. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but equally, I feel like it would have to be big. They would have to get like a sort of 3-0 win. If they got a sort of 3-0-ish win type vibe, then maybe it would be a situation in which I'd go, yeah, no, we can't really this is just about what it is. But even 2-0, I would make an argument that it's not done. Even 2-0, I'd make an argument it's not done. And I'm confident that it won't be 3-0. Let me put it to you that way. I'm confident that it won't be 3-0. The video says Cornet redemption time. I'm ready. He's a big game player. Listen, if he comes on, if he comes on, I hope to God, I hope to God he pulls it off, because I want him to succeed, and I think there's a player there. It's just I just don't trust him anymore. It sucks to say, but I just don't, and I really want him to prove me wrong. Because I'm stupid and I shouldn't be. There should never be a situation in which Charlie Walsh is correct about anything. Jesus Christ. Budgie, good to see you, sir. How are you? Hope you're well. If you haven't subscribed to Green Street Elites, if you haven't checked out any of Budgie's videos, I'd highly recommend it. Be there or on West Ham Network when Budgie's on there. Budgie's an absolute don. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. And thank you for the love. Appreciate it. They haven't lost. Not written in stone that we win at home. No. But I'm talking about giving us a chance. But obviously, look. Again, we're talking uphill battles. They are very much the favourites for this game for a reason. They are very much the favourites for this game, and then probably the game at ELS for a reason. Let's be honest. If we're being straight up honest about it, that's just where we're at. Easily put. A low block works against them, says just wins. I think it's the only option we have. Tonight, to be honest with you. 8-7 to Leverkusen, close game, says Alex. Simon Wardy Pete scores first direct free kick. Paquetá or Kudus to bag a goal on individual brilliance. Suchek header 2-3. Listen, I would take that all day, Simon. And I'll tell you what, is today the Ward-Prowse day? Will we finally get our JWP swaztastic top bins free kick? Part of me says no, because that means we'll have to get a free kick in that area. Although with Antonio playing those balls in, maybe Jonathan Target's a bit too handsy. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. We're giving too much respect to Leverkusen. I think that's certainly... Look, I think that the truth is in the situation we're in as a fan base, we'll probably give literally every single team we come against too much respect. Listen, I'm a poet, sir. I'm a linguist. I studied English literature and language. Okay, and I got passing grades in both. Don't ask me what that passing grade was, but it was a pass. I think we'll, as a fan base, we'll probably give every team we come up against too much respect, right? I think that's probably fair to say. We aren't exactly in the best of moods as a fan base, and so once you go into that situation, every single team we face will be like an impossibility for us to beat. And in certain instances, that's correct. And I feel like today potentially one of those, but we'll see. Free to corner. I like the idea. It just scares me. Dracodian and Maxwell, the perpetually offside corners. That's my booty. Yeah, listen. If he was facing the other way, I'd back it. Problem is, he's always running too early, this silly Billy. That's the way I've worded that, isn't it? That's the way I've worded that. Jules says, I don't see a situation in which we don't score. So if we can limit their scoring, all to play for at the LS. That, Jules, you're kind of exactly where I'm at. I can see us getting one, at least. It's just, I can see them getting two, at least. It's just about figuring out, stopping them from getting any more than that, Jules. But I make you bang. That's exactly where I'm at. It's 100% where I'm at. Rihanna's saying 3-2 to the Hammers. Come on, you Irons. Is absolutely delusional. Listen, there's nothing wrong with a bit of delusion every now and then when it comes to football, you know? Maybe in other aspects of our lives, maybe we want to be fully switched on and concentrating and know what's going on. But listen, in terms of football, nothing wrong with a bit of delusion. It's kind of what fans are there for, you know? We want a bit of delusion. We want to face an Arsenal or whoever and go, yeah, we got this. You know, needlessly. You need it. Stat time, we're top for breakaway goals across all top 5 European leagues with none. That's it. I didn't actually know that. I think, was that the stat that just came up on the screen? Because I missed it. I saw something come up at the bottom and I wanted to read it, but I was midway talking through some nonsense. You know me. That's interesting. I wouldn't. Do you know what? I would have said we'd always be high for that sort of stuff, but I didn't think we would be. I didn't think we would be useful to them. I see. I disagree specifically today, AK. Oh my lord. Okay, hang on. I disagree specifically today, AK. But there's someone who knows more than that. Ladies and gentlemen, you may know him. You may know him as co-host of the West Ham Breakdown on all good podcast platforms, co-founder of the Analytics United website, alongside, of course, appearing in the West Ham program, but more importantly, co-host of Hamalytics on patreon.com/hamchat. It's only Jack bloody Edson, and look, he's got glasses on. You right?
Yeah, doing up full nerd for this one.
Talk to me. How are you feeling? What's the vibe saying?
I'm nervous now. How are you feeling? You were really worried, I think, yesterday. Are you feeling more confident now, or?
Nah. No, do you know what? Do you know what it is? Yeah, I'm not more confident. I'm more excited. That's definitely true. So sure. Part of me is I'm trying to balance in my brain. What am I actually thinking? Because there is an excitement level that's like, oh, we're gonna smash them. We're gonna absolutely smash them. But no, I don't think I'm confident. I'm just excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just very, I don't know. I just suddenly got very nervy now as we're getting very close to the game. I think they've got such good quality in their team that it's going to be very difficult. But obviously, everyone's well aware the aim of this is just to be in it for the second leg, and I think we're capable of doing that. It's just about defending as a unit and doing it well. I watched their game against Hoffenheim last night before I went to bed. I was trying to get in as much footage as I could before this game, and the first half in that match, you saw how well Hoffenheim defended as a unit against them. They struggled with the press, and Leverkusen had a hell of a lot of the ball, but Hoffenheim defended really well, and 2 breakaways, 1 goal, and they went in at halftime 1-0 up. And I think that's a good example of the kind of game plan we're going to have to employ tonight. And the 5-4-1 that Hoffenheim used in that one, I think we'll probably see something pretty similar from West Ham. And it's obviously becomes a game really about, there's a huge amount of pressure on Paquetá, Kudus and Antonio, and if they can keep the ball, if Kudus can roll, if Paquetá can find that one pass, then we have to take that chance. And they will give us chances because of the way that they commit the wide centre backs to the press. So yeah, it's an exciting game because it's just complete opposite styles.
Madman says, hey, are you ready to watch? It's time to come and watch. Good to see you, Madman. Nice to see you and Scott. It's never a bad time. Linda's just tuned in. So who is on the bench? The bench, for those wondering, is going along the bottom. It's Anang, it's Knightsbridge, it's Johnson, Ogbonna, Aged, Casey, Orford, Earthy, Cornet, Ings, and Mubama. It's everyone that is fit. It's just the way it goes.
And it's a great night for the academy. As a footnote underneath everything that we're currently experiencing and all of our nerves ahead of this game, but it's brilliant to see some of those players making the bench in a Europa League quarter final.
Yeah, I just wish someone would get on. I can't see.
I'm not sure Knightsbridge is going to be coming on.
Well, Knightsbridge definitely isn't. I don't know. I can see a situation which Mubama comes on at some point.
Yeah,
maybe even Earthy if we're feeling.
Could see Earthy being used as well.
Foggy, but outside of that, probably not. You see that goal Orford scored the other night, by the way.
Yeah,
getting an absolute perler into the top corner.
He did. Top player.
Yeah, I don't know about tonight. It's just one of those things. I think, having spoken to you, I did listen to the West Ham Breakdown earlier. I was listening to that while I was going about cooking and shopping and, my usual walk to Tesco with it in my ears. And I think that's probably where some of my confidence is mildly coming from. And I feel like
sure.
the choice today to play Cresswell is, I think, arguably the only one that could have been made. I said earlier, for example, if you said to me which player deserves to play more between Cresswell and Johnson, I would say Johnson. But if you're saying which one should play today, I would probably said Cresswell and made the same decision David Moyes made.
Yeah, I think having the ability to go to the hybrid 4/3 is going to be vital here because of the flexibility of the team they've put out, especially with Stanisic coming in for this one as well. It's such a flexible group. They can go 4/3 themselves. They have the overlap from the most advanced of the wide centre backs. I'm sure that'll be Stanisic today. In previous games, I think I've seen Hincapié doing it. So yeah, it's really important to have that extra player that can drop into the back line and be really comfortable in that position. And Cresswell obviously coming in, and with Emerson playing ahead, that gives us that ability to initially defend in a 4 if we want to, and then for Emerson to tuck back in alongside Cresswell, Paquetá to move out to the left flank, and then we can have a player to go with whatever run Stanisic makes whenever he makes that run. Yeah, so I think it's really important that we have this system, and in many ways, I'm quite glad that we got just to run it out for half an hour against Wolves before this game, because it's just a little bit of match practice in the before a really big game of having to do it perfectly for 90 minutes.
I mean, I, for one, am looking forward to the inevitable. Emerson in control of the ball in the corner quadrant, lays it back to Cresswell in a slightly position, he crosses it in towards Thomas Souček's head. Now, whether or not that goes in or not, I don't know. But I, for one, am looking forward to it, and hopefully we can just re-roll that 15,000 times.
That would be proper old school David Moyes West Ham.
I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. Do you have any concerns about playing the system we are with James Ward-Prowse and him getting exposed? Because that's one thing that a lot of people are scared about, is how bad he's going to be exposed. I mean, I think realistically we're going to get exposed regardless, because you just don't have Alvarez, but that's specifically, I think, where a lot of people are having their big worries today.
I think a lot of that depends really on the movement of Wirtz. I mean, Wirtz is obviously the big danger man for them, and I mean, he's just an incredible player. His ability, vision, passing, dribbling, close control, all of it. Even out of possession, he's an absolute freak as well. He presses so well. So, I mean, it depends really what his movement looks like in the game. I think where I've seen him look really exciting is when we see him drifting across the attack, coming through in sort of on lateral runs across the front of the box, and then he can be a nightmare to deal with, especially because he moves from zone to zone. So if you think about how a 5-4-1 defends, if you cross over, particularly the central zones where one midfielder might be with you and then has to pass you on to the other one, that's where he might get his second to find a pass between the lines, that little bit of space that he's looking for. He was really dangerous in that last sort of 5-10 minutes of the first half against Hoffenheim that I was watching last night, where he started to do that and was just really almost impossible to deal with. Yeah, so I think coming into those central spaces, that could be a problem. But then also, I think when you look at the way that Leverkusen attack, a lot of it is about the relationships between the wing back and the 10 on that side. So we'll kind of see how it shapes up in the game. They're so flexible; it could look more like Wirtz attacking in those spaces, and James Ward-Prowse could become a problem defensively for us there. But then simultaneously, I think we could be subject to a lot of wide attacks if we defend well and force them into the wide spaces, and then you kind of somewhat mask the lack of a true number 6 in our team, which again is a strength of the system that we're running out. It should allow us to force the opposition wider much more easily. So yeah, I mean, it could be a problem, and unfortunately, Ward-Prowse is generally at his best when we're able to press more aggressively, and I don't think that's something we're going to be able to do at all in this game.
No, and I guess like the hope is like obviously like you're saying to encourage him to go wide, but with Frimpong and Grimaldo, it's not like they're going to be scared to not do. Do you know what I mean? They would be more than happy to be like, yeah, we'll just get it to Frimpong, we'll get it to Grimaldo, and they'll sort of create.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, so like in that sense, I mean, the scary bit is when it gets out wide and then they start doing pullbacks to sort of just outside the penalty area, and James Ward-Prowse is sort of on a swivel, not sure what's going on, and you've got someone like Granit Xhaka just striding onto the ball with his big toe to absolutely wallop one.
Yeah, big ask of Thomas Souček. I mean, he's really good in those positions, but then also I feel that he's probably going to drop closer to the centre backs to defend crosses, make sure that Schick is taken care of. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. It's also worth mentioning how often you see those wing backs and forwards interchanging. So if Frimpong makes some really tidy runs into more central positions, and then that can open the space if he can pull. Say in our defensive shape, if Emerson goes with, that might be able to create the space for someone to drop out to the flank, more dangerous receiver like Wirtz or like Adli to then really get on the spin and drive at the defense. So I mean, the threats are everywhere. They are a really, really difficult team to
Yeah.
deal with. But again, I would point people when you're watching this really to the performances of Paquetá, Kudus, Antonio, because the game for us, as much as it is about, of course, what we're talking about defending as a unit and keeping them out, the game for us is maintaining a threat on the counter and making sure that we have that throughout the match. And that is going to come down to really the battles between those three players and the three central defenders for Leverkusen. And I imagine, because Stanisic will come inside, it will look like that. Yeah, I feel not massively confident, but I feel that we have players that can cause them really major problems in those areas. I mean, our quality in that area of our team is incredibly strong.
If I was to, and I'll ask this to everyone now, if you want to get your results, if you want to get your full-time predictions in, no more flipping, no more flopping, no more sitting on the fence, it's time to put them in chat, and then we will, Jack, what we do here, right? Hold up your hand like this. Your hand like this, right? And then you want to grab your hand with your hand like that. Yeah, and then you want to lock it in like that. That's what you want to do, Jack. You want to lock it in. Okay, right. Well, it wasn't as much effort going into that as I wanted, but that's fine. Jack, score predictions.
I think I'm probably going to go for 2-1 Leverkusen, and I think that would be a good result for us.
I would 100%. My gut's saying 2-1 as well, and I would take that. I see us. The way if I do score predictions in the way I always do score predictions, which is, do I see us scoring? Yes. Do I see us scoring more than one? Probably not. Do I see them scoring? Yes. Do I see them scoring less than 2? Probably not. Then I would say 2-1. Realistically,
that's where I'm
at. Yeah, and I would 100%. I would 100% take it. I would if you say to me 2-1 now, yes, go back to London Stadium, 100% everything to play for, with even more pressure on them in the second leg. I'm totally down for that. Yeah. I'm totally down for that. Don't get me wrong, I prefer a 1-0 West Ham win. And as I said to you yesterday, if we get a 1-0 win, I'm probably going to be insufferable about it. But I'm totally here for that. But yeah, if I was to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible, how confident are you of us keeping it to a level where we can still do, whether that be us winning, them winning, but at a reasonable level? How confident would you be at us keeping it to a score where we can do something for the LS?
I think this group of players have earned my confidence in them over the last few European campaigns. So as much as I look at this tie and it freaks me out, and I look at the quality they have and that worries me, I am confident because this group of players has made me believe, and should have made everyone watching this and supporting West Ham believe. They've earned that from us, and so yeah, I'm confident that they can do that.
There you go, Madman. Thank you very much for the 199 in Moyes We Trust, in Charlie We Trust. Let's go. It's good to see you back, sir. Good to see you, Jack. Jack, enjoy the game. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you enjoy yourself, regardless. Where can people find everything you do, very quickly before you go?
At Jack Elderton on Twitter, everything will be there, and analyticsunited.co.uk to keep up with all the work that I put out.
Thanks, Jack. See you probably next week for Analytics. See ya. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Jack Elderton. You know, Jack's taking it serious. Glasses on. Serious business occurring. It's big. It's big. It's the quarterfinals. It's the quarterfinals of the Europa League. What more do you need, ladies and gentlemen? What more do you need? I would highly recommend you all going and checking out Jack's stuff, whether it be on Analytics United, whether it be on Jack's Twitter at Jack Elderton, or of course on the Patreon, patreon.com/Hammers Chat, where we do our show. Let's have a look at some of these score predictions, shall we? Scripted Snake, I'll say just very quickly, try not to spam. Dean, feel free to time out anyone who's spamming. Good to see you back, by the way. Let's have a look at some of these score predictions. Madman, by the way, I typed in your thing just to make it appear. Hang on. There we go. Madman, thank you very much. We are a couple of minutes away from kickoff. Let's scroll through them very quickly. I need to find them. Scott says 1-0. By the way, I saw you both chatting. I just didn't want to interrupt Jack. There are baby bells available. How dare you both suggest there wouldn't be otherwise, despite all the evidence when I usually forget to put. This time we can. 1-1 says Anthony, good to see you, sir. Hope you're well. Julius, my trustworthy friend, with a 2-2. Christian gone with 5-0 Leverkusen. 2-1 to the Iron, says Leon. 1-1, 2-1 to Leverkusen, says Scampy. Longer it remains 0-0, the more they're going to panic. They will not want to come over here on level terms. Yeah, 100% agree with Stevie B. 2-0 says Leop. Got 2-1 Bayern, 1-1 Emerson and Tar. 3 chains, 1 better than 2 is 2-1 to the Cockney boys. Rhiannon's saying 3-2. Come on, you Irons, win for the Hammers. Come on, let's go. 2-2 says Rex. Not of Mass Effect fame, unfortunately, but 2-2 says AS. 5-0 said to Bayer, says John. Jerry's gone with 3-1 Bayer. 2-0, no more than that, I hope, says Ionix. Where are we at? Hughes is saying 4-1. I didn't get the I wanted more effort from the pull down, but Jack turned up. Jack turned up to help me out, so I'm not going to complain too much. But I don't feel like Jack's prediction was too locked in. You need to really lock it in. 2-1 says AK to West Ham. Old man is saying a 4-0 win to Bayern. 1-0 to Bayern, but hopefully 1-1. 2-1 to the Hammers, says Graham. 0-0, and I will be over the moon as long as Pack doesn't pick up a yellow. Yeah, that's another big thing, Andy, to be fair. That's another big thing. Simon saying 3-2 to us. 2-1, and we turn it around next week. 2-0, not us, says Stephen. 3-1, says Chuck. Good to see, sir. How are you? How are things? 1-0 to West Ham, says William Kirby. 1-1, I hope. 2-2. 7-0 to Bayern. 3-0 loss, says Paul. 1-1, says Zombie Freed. 4-4 classic. I take any form of draw, I'm not going to lie. 2-1 West Ham win. Sod it. 4-4, I wish. Andy has gone with 1-0 to them tonight. Then do them 3-1 at home. Andy, I love that energy. Any more than a 2-goal advantage and we're stuffed. Yeah, that's probably how I feel about it. For example, if it was 3-0, as GM said, although GM says away, that's for us, which we'd happily take. It would be difficult for John saying 5-0 Bayer, but West Ham will kick some defenseless animals, in which I'm hoping. Of which, it is what it is. I'm just hang on a second. I received 3 messages at the exact same moment. I think my phone's doing up a madness. But anyway. Teams are currently doing the coin flip. I tell you what, maybe perhaps a little bit surprised by the score predictions. So not a huge amount, just a bit. Just a bit. You're not blocked. At least I don't think you are. If you're watching this, I don't think you are. I can't see. I mean, I don't think you are. I don't know. It's very odd. I'm not sure. The bells are in the fridge. They are available if necessary. Script and Snake, I'll say one more time. Please do not. If I'm here for you. I'm here for you back in the beef. But I just don't want to get too spammy about it. Listen, we're going to kick off any moment now. Thank you, Hennes. 2-2. Yeah. We take that. But it is West Ham versus Bayer Leverkusen in the Europa League quarter-finals. I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. I'm very, very excited. I can't lie. Even with the trepidation, even with the fear, I'm really looking forward to this one. I'll end the poll and have a look at those final results as well. But I'm really looking forward to this one regardless. I'll let you know if I see it. I haven't seen it yet. I'll let you know. Regardless of everything, we're underway. Come on, you Irons. Deploy the boys. West Ham United versus Bayer Leverkusen in the quarterfinals of the Europa Gosh darn League. It's massive. We asked to predict the result. Leverkusen win, draw, or West Ham win. 46% said Leverkusen win, 27% said draw, and 26% said West Ham win. I'm shocked. I thought it would have been higher for a Leverkusen win, but I'm fine with that. To be honest. We have to see which way, how we play, how we line up. It does look like we've sort of got defensive, at least that 5 at the back going. Bayer Leverkusen win the ball back turn. I'm trying to sort of figure it out. We've got Kudus, who's sort of on the right, Paquetá on the left in that sort of double 10 position type vibe. Behind Mikel Antonio. James Ward-Prowse stepping out to try and press a little bit there. Frimpong trying to play his way into the box, looking for a little rotation. It was covered nicely, but easily blocked off. When I say easily, it's blocked off, and that's the important bit. I got Leverkusen win, but what do I know? You know a lot, Scott. You know a lot. You have to use VPNs for a start. That's a big difference. That's a big difference for me specifically. But it's taken down there by, I think it was James Ward-Prowse. It's going to be a free kick to them. Yeah, Woody, I can't. If you're there, bro, I can't see it. I can't see it. Sorry, I would reply to you properly, but it's easier to say it out loud if you're there than it is for me to type it. Dexter Fletcher with the £2. Thank you very much. Taking my seat above Danny early doors this week. You'll love to see us. So thank you very much for the £2. I don't know when you did that. Whipped in from Vert. Good header away from corner. There was pressure at the back. He's gone down holding his head. And the referee's going to stop it and bring it back. The referee's going to stop it and bring it back. But I guess due to the fact it's a head injury. Yeah, just header back. I think it's taps over just behind him, looking to try and attack it. But yeah. But Dexter, thank you for the £2. Let me add that into the dono bar at the top while we get stoppage for Vladimir Sufa. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Massively appreciate it. My hair is gone. Can I pull that back from underneath here? That'll do. Oh, sorry. If I missed the message, there's no... Listen, so I apologise, Ollie. Good to see you, sir. Give you a little salute as well, respect it. Frimpong looking to play a little 1-2 around the back with Verts. Trying to take it around. It's a poor pass. Kudus picks it up. Again, it's about using these opportunities. Paquetá taken down by Frimpong. They'll take that. In a situation in which there's just a lot of people in and around there, you can say that. I'll be honest with you. Probably am calling it. It's a difficult one, but I'd say probably. I can't think of one. If you were a rat, what city would you want to live in? It's difficult not to say. Do you know what it would be? It'd be difficult not to say London. I think New York is an underrated one for that as a question. Big boot forward, chested down from Mikel Antonio into the path of Emerson. New York would be a difficult one not to say. Because in London and New York, you've got the subway, you've got the tube, and don't get me wrong, you have other notable ones in Paris or whatever. But I feel like they just do it different. You know what I mean? They just do it different. What about you? Okay, fair. Okay, as long as I didn't miss it. Ollie, good to see you, sir. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Coming, you irons, big plays. It's coming. It's happening. Ada, good to see you. How are you? I'm in Czech right now. I can't even watch the game on live TV. Well, if you're looking for a way to watch it, there definitely are ways you can do it. Scroll down to the link in the description below. There's a bit there called join our Discord. Lovely Hams Chat West Ham community. But more importantly, if you scroll down in there on the left-hand side, there's a bit called stream links in which you'll find what you're looking for. Sufal looking to try and nod that one on from the long ball. Doesn't quite work out. It's going to be a Leverkusen throw-in inside their own half. Again, I think a big thing for us is going to be making the most of those counter-attacking opportunities because they will commit. They will overcommit at times. Their wing-backs will get far forward. Maybe one of their centre-backs will get far forward. They will really try and go for it. And when they do, and when we get those turnovers deep in those deep areas, it's going to be about how effectively we can spring out from those. And Paquetá is going to be useful with that, with his close control. If he can wiggle out and find some ways to link up with Emerson, that partnership's going to be huge. Kudus on that spin turn, as Jack was saying, trying to get into those central areas and really do some damage is going to be big. And then, of course, those long out balls to Mikel Antonio. But it's going to be a long, difficult game. And it started that way with Tapsoba out wide to Grimaldo, tries to cross it in, headed away by Kurt Zuma. Back out wide to Adley into Xhaka. Nice little back heel. They're lining up here, trying to figuring it out. Viet's out wide to Stanisic. Oh, a little back heel there from Schick. Try to get the flick on past Fabianski. Thankfully for us, it does not work. Shot comes in from Stanisic, and the little flick from Schick almost sends Fabianski flapping, but thankfully he manages to keep hold of it. Are we in double positions for possession? Yeah, I don't know. Let's get the sofa score app up. Cresswell getting forward for a throw in now on the left-hand side, deep into their area. You'll have to see it. Cresswell finds Emerson. It's a usual poor throw in from West Ham. And then the eventual cross, which Emerson just about managed to find, doesn't work out. And Bayer Leverkusen, there was a moment there where they could have broke, but the pass from Verts was way too... I think actually maybe from Xhaka was just 0-2 over hit. Which we'll take. We do have double possession. We have 18 currently. There you go. What more can we want? Joseph, there are definitely ways you can find the game, my friend. Just have a look at your screen now. I think we're going to need a goal from a corner tonight. I mean, that would be a big dub for us. Get Thomas Souček in there bullying him, Kurt Zuma bullying him. That's what I want to see from those corners, you know. Or hey, worst comes to worst, James Ward-Prowse just puts it in top of the corner again. That's fine. We can deal with that as well. It's Bingo, the farmer or the dog. I don't know. Pardon me, I actually genuinely have no idea. I can't even remember the rest of the lyrics now. It's just gone from my head. I don't know. You've sent me there. You've sent me. Played in, looking for Leverkusen, looking for Schick. Hits off the back of his heel. Paquetá, it was a brave pass to find James Ward-Prowse, but it works. Ward-Prowse finds Antonio, who kicks it and runs. He beats Jonathan Tah for pace easily. He's got Mohamed Kudus to side to him. He finds him. Mohamed Kudus hits it straight into the hands, but that is a good counter. That's exactly the sort of thing we're looking for. You hold them off, and then when they overcommit like they just did, you hit them quickly. It was a risky pass from Paquetá to find James Ward-Prowse, but his incisive ball into Mikel Antonio was nice. Antonio does absolutely brilliantly to just boot it past Tah, knowing that he's going to have the beating with him for pace, and then across to Kudus. Close, anything a little bit better from Kudus would have done there, but a good opportunity for Frimpong now, building up forward for Florian Wirtz just outside the area. Plays it back out wide. Shot save from Fabianski. Adley went for the curver into the back post, but Fabianski easily matches it. Frimpong loses out on the ball nicely to Emerson and Paquetá. Paquetá looking for that ball over the top for Mikel Antonio. It was close. Jonathan Tah cuts it out nicely. I tell you what, Jonathan Tah, he's closest to Mikel Antonio right now, but they're playing, again, they're so far forward that if Jonathan Tah is going to be in a foot race with Mikel Antonio out all night, it's not only is it going to be a big long night for Mikel Antonio, but let's be real, it's going to be a long night for Jonathan Tah. He is not known for having pace, and Mikel Antonio, even at his age now with injuries and everything else, dude will beat Jonathan Tah in a race 10 times out of 10. So if we can get those balls into Antonio right, it's going to be a big thing for us. And then Kudus arriving at the other side as well, that's going to be massive. Oh, and then James Ward-Prowse, nice tackle, finds Mohamed Kudus, who has men in front of him, decides to take them all. Didn't have any other options really apart from taking him on. Mikel Antonio was deepening him. He was the furthest person forward. He had two men on either side and Jonathan Tah just ahead of him, and they end up just closing him out. But I tell you what, we're looking dangerous on the counter-attack right now. We're looking as dangerous on the counter-attack as Leverkusen are looking on the front foot. Out wide to Grimaldo on the left-hand side in that corner quadrant. Finds Adley, who moves into the space, the half space, and Can't get the control, and Kurt Zuma hoofs it away. You're 2 seconds in front of me. That is a first. That is a first. So I'm watching it. I'm watching it on Discovery Plus legally, so that helps. Todd, why you got to do me like that, Todd? They do. They do. There's many in my area. I'll be honest with you, Todd. I'm just lazy. I can't act like, because I like shorter hair because it's easier to wash. Because longer hair, you don't think about it, but when you have long hair, it's an absolute pain in the ass to wash. But I'll be honest with you, I'm just lazy. That's all it is. Laziness. Laziness. You know, same with the beard. Played into Addy in that half space again, who shot, come cross, fired across, and Frimpong was there, but can't get there. It's going to be a goal kick. Adley getting in those spaces. Adley getting in those spaces maybe a little bit too easily at this point. That's the big concern right now. I think we're looking as dangerous on the counter-attack as they're looking on the front foot. And again, if Antonio can keep drifting out into that left wide space and then just like be far enough away from Jonathan Tah where he's too scared to come across because it's going to leave too much of a gap, so he gets that little bit of running room, I think we can really consistently do that. Tapsoba and Kudus is a little bit more closer than that, but Tah and Antonio is just it's Antonio's all day, all night. Lucas Paquetá with a nice flick on Antonio, can't quite get there. But I genuinely believe that, but there is that fear. Like Adley has been getting into those half spaces as they play the ball forward down the left-hand side, especially. Right-hand side, a little bit less. The shot comes in that he saves from the right-hand side, but the positions he's picking up on the left are a little bit scarier to me. She prefers my misses. She prefers longer hair, to be fair. Again, looking to try and play their way in. Leverkusen. Out wide to Frimpong. Back towards Palacios. Passing the ball around. Xhaka. Poor pass out wide to Tapsoba, but he's going to collect it regardless. Xhaka again collecting it deep. Finds Grimaldo. They're playing through the lines here. Adley on the ball. Looks to try and place it across Schick's there. Frimpong's there, headed away from Cresswell, but it's not quite away. Again, Leverkusen, they're getting into the box, but it's always with their back to goal, with never too many options right now, and they're always forced to go straight back out of it. Adley's the one guy who's not suffering from that problem. Defensively, we're doing well. And counter-wise, we're doing well, but it's obviously going to be a long evening. Grimaldo wide on the left-hand side, couple of little step overs, looks for the shot. Deflection from Palacios' shot off, I think it was Ward-Prowse. It's going to be a corner. Going to be a corner. In fact, I think it was Wirtz who came up with a couple of step overs, not Grimaldo. Aston Villa gone 1-0 up against Lille. Ollie Watkins would have gone. Yeah, they moved the ball very well, David. I can't lie. Yeah. Yeah. They do. They're very good at it. They're very good. They commit a lot of people forward, like a lot of people. Like the amount of people they commit forward allows them to create spaces and overload really, really well. But I think we're defensively, again, we're doing the only thing we can do, which is sitting deep. This is what we need to do. We can't not play a low block against them right now. We can't. We have to play the low block and we have to counter against them. It's really the only thing I feel like we can do. Imagine if we had less defenders on the pitch right now. It'd be an issue. Imagine if we had more people back. What this would look at. It'd be a mess. Headed away from Soufal. Kudus looking to try and collect it. Makes a big deflection off James Ward-Prowse. Pings back forward. Headed down from Emerson away. Going to be a throw into Leverkusen. Alan. They're ready to watch again. Retesh in the chat as well. First goal by West Ham on or before the 19th minute. Half-time score 2-0. Full-time 4-1. Ooh, long ball from Leverkusen over top. Full-time 4-1 West Ham. I'm here for it, Retesh. I'm absolutely here for it. So if that comes to it, I'm here for it. I was watching. Me and my girlfriend had an extended conversation. Was it last night or the night before? about the once in a lifetime music video, and I was going on about how much I love that music video because it's from that era where like they're clearly not entirely certain what to do with music videos yet, and so he's just sort of doing his thing, and I love it. You know, they're like, what can we do? I don't know. We'll just sort of walk around a bit weird, and then we'll put a blue background, and you'll do like same as it ever was, same as it ever. I said, what a banger song, unreal music video. Not the very best. Just call me boss. How bad is it? Look, it's how you would expect it, but I think counter-attacking wise, it's looking okay. We've died down a little bit in the last 5 minutes or so, but there's certainly you can see our route to goal today. You can see that with the counter-attack, but it's just going to be a long game. Call me boss. It's going to be a long game. Anyone else with a deeper understanding, feel free to just call me boss. Call him out. Say how you feel about the game. Same as it ever was. But look where my hand was. What song? Leverkusen again on the ball. So we sit in that 5-4-1 shape. It's more 5-2-3 shape, really. Played out wide. It's a Frimpong. Looking to try and cross it in towards Schick. Header high and wide. No power on it. No direction on it. Couldn't really get anything on that. The cross was too close to him. Video Kid of Race. Yet another banger like that. Another banger like that, Dave. The one I always think about as well in those games, in that realm, is going underground. Like he's just stood in a white room next to a television. Going underground. There's nothing going on. It's great. It's great, but it's not as insane as video or once in a lifetime. Ball on the overlap, whipped in. Don't go burning down the house. It's good, Todd. It's good. I'm here for it. Enjoy yourself, sir. Enjoy yourself. Appreciate you coming. Frimpong. Roma have taken a 1-0 lead against AC Milan, which of course will affect us if we manage to get through in this tie. We'll be facing whoever wins that one. Taps over out wide to the left-hand side. Could have almost managed to sneak in there. Mikel Antonio gets the intercept off a poor pass. Will lead into a foul. It's going to be difficult in those situations because we really want to not concede the fouls. They're going to want to hit those high turnovers because when the high turnover happens, it's a huge benefit for them. But realistically, we want to be able to still do the counter-attacking. Antonio pushing forward on the goalkeeper there. It's an opportunity maybe for a high turnover, although I don't think we're going to commit to... we're not going to commit the numbers we usually would to really try and make that happen. Verts does well, sends Paquetá for lunch. Nice back heel from Schick. They're looking to try and work their way in. Grimaldo shot from range. Oh, my Lord. It's a good save from Fabianski. And I'll tell you what, it's a solid shot from Grimaldo from range. Absolutely wallops one. Destined for the right-hand side of the net. And Fabianski matches it. Scarier almost was that Verts and Frimpong were just lining up next to it, ready to try and take advantage if it comes out. But thankfully, Fabianski's hand ends up forcing it further across, but a shot from Grimaldo is strong, and Fabianski's hand was stronger. What do I think about Cody? I'm really happy. I think WrestleMania Night 2 was really good. WrestleMania Night 1 was fine. I think it lacks a little something. Some good matches on there, but it didn't really live up. Oh, opportunity from the corner. Bounces around a little bit. Jonathan Tah's in there. Kudus nips the ball off him, drags it past one, finds it again. Paquetá easily takes it past his man, but he's maybe held onto it a little bit too long. Oh, a little rogue arm there. Paquetá was very angry about it. I think I could understand why he was angry there. He's gone in on Adley quite hard, and there's a big old reaction from the fans. It's a yellow card from Paquetá. I feel like he was gone in on quite harshly there, and now there's just people pushing and screaming everywhere. Both sets of players absolutely going in, but Paquetá definitely went in hard. It's Adley there who initially goes in on him, and Paquetá rocks up and just absolutely goes for him. He's picked up a yellow card, which is obviously awful news for us. I mean, it's 100% a yellow. Adley went on him harsh. He went in back on him harsh. Means we don't have Paquetá for the second leg, which, Jesus Christ, is a massive, massive blow. Oh, we're getting a VAR check for... I think we're getting a VAR check for whether it's a potential red. I don't think it is a red. I think it's just a yellow. Paquetá is furious with the referee, by the way. Paquetá is legitimately furious. Okay, check over, no red. I was right. I didn't think it was going to be a red card, but... Adley went on him really hard there, elbow out. He clearly didn't like it. He got back up and just absolutely went for him. It's as easy a yellow as you're ever going to give. And now he misses the second leg. First with the resulting free kick in. Header goes very much wanting from Schick. But yeah, no red, but the yellow does mean he misses the... It does mean he misses it. David Moyes just pointing out to the fourth official there about Adley going in hard on Paquetá. And I think Adley was maybe a little bit lucky on that one as well. I mean, that puts us in a horrendous position. Jesus Christ, we need Bowen back as fast as possible. But that puts us in a horrendous position. It's going to be very interesting to see how we deal with that, especially if we don't have Jarrod Bowen. But Kudus trying to get the control down. It's going to mean Paquetá needs to do something today. And it's a nice control. The pass wasn't quite there, but a nice idea. But that's next week's problem. We've got to really figure out what we're going to do tonight. Paquetá apparently has a free kick. I'm not really sure how, but fine. That's next week's problem. Next week's problem. Right now, we need to concentrate on today and figure it out. I think Paquetá, he's taken down Verts there. He's come across to him to make sure he's okay. I don't really see what happened there. Just a little trod on the toe, a little accidental trod. Happens. You can disagree with each other in chat, by the way, but just make sure you don't take it too far and start personally insulting, because I will start just timing people out. But Paquetá is going to have to be a little bit careful for the rest of this game. I definitely wouldn't take him off because he's a huge benefit to us, but he does really need to be a little bit careful. Yeah, I agree with what Dean's saying here. Someone needs to grab him, just give his head a wobble. He needs to. I don't think they need to take him off. I think they just need to tell him to calm the hell down and just get on with it. I don't. To be fair, I don't think he doesn't seem to be as angry as he was a couple of minutes ago, and I feel like the foul on Verts was just what it was. He reached out a bit far and stamps. It's not a purposeful one in my mind. That's not that deep. But I wouldn't take him off, because who's gonna hit who's gonna play those balls in for the counter attack if he's off? We're done. I genuinely feel like if you take Paquetá off, we're done. In this game, next game, whatever. That's a different story for a different time. But we need him on the pitch. It's just a case of like getting him in, just going, look, this is where you need a good captain. He does well there. Finds the passing around. Emerson finds Cresswell. Looking for James Ward-Prowse, finds it back to Paquetá, who's in that half space. We're going to be looking for crosses from him from there if we can find him in those positions more frequently. We've got numbers forward here, but it's not quite working out. They've got so many people. Their pass away is poor. Could have managed to get the ball across and we pick it up. But yeah, there's just so many people back when they get into that shape for their 5 at the back system that it's difficult to find the breakaway. That was really poorly done by Soufal, but we take a throw in from it. Moyes or someone needs to turn to chill his beans. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. This is when you need a good captain to just go across and just be like, look, chill out. Because without him, I don't see, like, without him, we genuinely are just defending for the rest of this game. Like, with him, there's like a system in place and a performance in place and a style in place of what we want to do. If he leaves, then we are in a much, much worse position. Because then it just becomes defend, 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 boot it long. Defend, 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 boot it long. Grimaldo facing the wrong way against Kudus, who almost manages to step in on Tapsoba and get him there, but doesn't quite. They continue possession of the ball here by Leverkusen and look to try and recycle it round to the right-hand side. The horseshoe in full effect. Frimpong. Back towards Palacios. First time touch there from Wirtz. Poor from Kudus. Loses out on the ball unnecessarily there. Big punt. Zuma, the captain, should be calming Pac-Man down. Yeah, that's exactly what I think it should be. Kudus with the ball now. This is a good opportunity. He takes it past his man. He's got people all around him consistently. No matter which way he manages to get away from people, he has people there. Paquetá, little swivel of the head, finds people coming towards him quickly. Plays it out wide to Kufau. Again, just moving inwards. Emerson. Back to Cresswell, plays it across to Sufau. Pass forward from Cresswell wasn't happening. Paquetá looks upset more than he does angry right now. He's cutting a frustrated figure, let's say. Looking quite annoyed at the... exasperated, that's the word. The commentator just exasperated. That's what it is. Fed up. More than angry. But again, he needs someone again, half-time can't come soon enough for him specifically, but Frimpong plays it back forward into the path of Frimpong once more. He tries to pull it back. Kurt Zuma matches it. And Cresswell's clearance isn't bad, to be fair. Isn't bad. It's going to be a throw into them on the halfway line, but yeah. Face like a slap to ask. Exactly that. Exactly that. Leverkusen just playing it around amongst themselves, back to Frimpong. Again, just trying to work their way into the box and not really managing it consistently or scarily. With defending well, Kudus comes flying in, gets a touch on the ball, almost managed to come away with it. Doesn't quite manage it, but almost manages it. Wirtz the ball nips away from Paquetá, who's in there, gets it a second time, and it's cleared away by James Ward-Prowse. Well nipped away there. Well nipped away. Ooh, and there was almost an opportunity for a break where they just managed to keep the ball passing around there, Leverkusen. But there was almost a split-second moment for breakaway. I don't know, man. It just is the way it is. It just is the way it is. It's on TNT Sports 2 in the UK, Ruston. It's on TNT Sports 2. Shit, hits it! Save from Fabianski. Just gets in behind, tries to hit it on the opposite side, and low down, gets down well. Schick, nice turn on first touch, just to spin Kurt Zuma quickly, then hits it. I tell you what, it was probably going wide, but it's a good save from Fabianski to get down quickly to stop that one. Corner resulting is taken quickly. Tar and Sufau just getting caught up amongst themselves and doesn't quite happen. Or, of course, the NIITS. Of course. No doubts on that one. No doubts. Yeah, that's a really nice save. I don't know if it was going in. I'm not sure, but it was a good save. Good save. Big boot outwards from Fabianski. How was that over 800 people here, by the way? Thank you. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe because we're the most consistent West Ham fan channel when it comes to watch-alongs. Over the last 5 years we've been doing it, or 5 seasons we've been doing it. We've done more frequently than anyone else. Like the video because it helps us out a lot. We've already flown past the 300 target I usually set. We're at 377. We're at 373 right now. So thank you very much for that. Hit the like button. It helps us out a huge amount. Looking to try and flick it in there. Adley is desperate for something. I'm not really sure what he was desperate for. But half an hour gone, 0-0. Gonna be honest, Miss Declan needs to be grouping that. I know what you mean, Nicholas. I know what you mean. I feel the vibe. I know what you mean. Ball there from Mavropanos was poor. Oh, and then he comes flying in. It's very awkward from Mavropanos there. The ball was poor, and then he came flying in on Florian Wirtz in a major manner. Not a yellow from first guess, but yeah. Oh, Adley was calling for a handball there on Soufal. I don't think it was. It was down by side. Not handball for me. Not handball for me. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, hit the like. Come on. I love it when Madman has got here. My life's just better, you know what I mean? Xhaka plays into Grimaldo. Pinged across. Zuma's the one who clears that one away. That was scary. I think it was Adley, or it was either Adley or Grimaldo who managed to play the ball in, and it was into a dangerous area, and Zuma manages to get there, but it was a scary moment. Kudus, for some reason, turns and goes backwards. Not really sure why. Had the space to move forward, instead puts the Soufal into a bad position where he has to clear it. Poorly done there. Poorly done. James Ward-Prowse. That's an easy one. I tell you what. There's been a couple of games in a row, maybe for the last month or so, a little bit longer. There's been some games where we've come up against teams where I feel like I've just come out and gone, no, we're going to do a job on you. Physically, we're gonna nip at your heels non-stop. And I feel like we've low-key done that to Leverkusen today. There's a lot of stuff like that. The Mavropanos one, the Paquetá one on Wirtz, where it's just like, just letting them know. Just letting them know. Xhaka looks out wide from Adley. Back to Tapsoba. Shot from range into the hands of Fabianski. Gets down well and holds it. Holds it. I love the way Robbie Savage says it's almost like West Ham are, and then just went on to exactly describe Moyes' tactics. Too early for a bell call. Listen, if they want to, if they're good, the people call for it. The people call for it. You know. This is my vibe for today, Percy. Other games it might be different, but for today we're going up against literally one of the best teams in Europe this season. They're unbeaten. They're winning most games. They're over double figure points ahead of Bayer Leverkusen in a league which everyone tells me is just a one-team league for Bayern Munich. They're over double points ahead of them. Over double figures points ahead of them. I think it's like 13 or something stupid at this point. This is exactly what we need to do. We need to sit deep, we need to defend, and then we need to absolutely ping it. We need to go for it. Big counter-attacking vibes. It's the way you do it. It's the way you beat a team like this. It's not fun. It's not what you want. You want to go up against them, you want to show them what's what and take it to them and all that other sort of stuff. But in the way they're playing right now, the way they move the ball around, imagine if we were playing a different style, we'd be all over it. We'd be all over it. We'd be a problem. Massively a problem for us. Yeah, this is where I'm at, Graham. Here's the thing. I 100% prefer that style of football. I feel like a lot of it when we look back at those sort of games, I see it on Twitter fairly regularly of people Soufal with a little turn. That was a terrifying moment. Just boot that one away. You played yourself into a problem, boot it away. Ooh, Mikel Antonio gets the control, tries to flick it over, taps over, and holds off his man. Well, go on, Mikel. Oh, go on, Mikel. Mikel does so well there. And then he takes on Tar and beats him, pulls it back across. Oh, it was so close. I tell you what, Mikel Antonio, holy hell. What a man. Do you see that? He controls it, flicks it over, taps over, then holds off, I think it's Palacios, then flicks it back over, taps over again, then heads it down for himself, then looks at Tar, wrong foots him, takes it on, and then the ball across. It's not a bad cross, but listen, there wasn't too much going on there. It wasn't Palacios, it was Xhaka, but he does so well there. Mikel Antonio, man, is just an absolute beast. How good is Mikel Antonio on his day? What a guy. Long throw in, looking for the header on from Zoom, doesn't quite work out. Mavropanos got a header into an interesting position, but doesn't work out. The little chest down from Stanisic into the hands of Kovar goes away. But yeah, Sam Pierce with the £5. Thank you very much, sir. Massively appreciate it. Yeah, massively appreciate it. Thank you for the keep it up. I had to go back into the back end to see what it is because it doesn't come on the thing. Thank you. I'll put your name in the top thing in a second. But yeah, I think there is often a little bit of like rose tinted glasses when people look back at sort of previous eras of West Ham. Like I saw someone claiming the West Ham way of how we should be playing. I can't remember what the match was, with some highlights of some goals from like the 80s, and all three of them were the most counter-attacking goals you've ever seen in your life. Ball in. Ooh, Mikel Antonio went down. He's asking for something. It's not going to happen in the penalty area against Jonathan Tah. Again, he's the guy who's been put up against him. But the ball gets crossed in from wide from the left-hand side. Kudus shifts it onto his strong foot, and then Mikel Antonio is just battling, looking to try and push Jonathan Tah as far back as possible. And Emerson at the back post. There is a little push there. There's a check going on, apparently. I don't think it's a fact. I think Antonio and Jonathan Tah are just. There is that physical battle. I predicted it in the pre-show of Jonathan Tah just being put on Mikel Antonio, and they're pushing each other, but like pulling of the shirt and everything. It's not going to be a penalty in the end. I think that's fine. But there was something against Emerson, a little push. James Ward-Prowse resulting corner. This is a big opportunity. Let's get all those big men in there. Referee's going to pull it back. I don't know who he's having a go at. He's having a go at someone here. Let's have a look at this corner. We got big boys in there. You got Paquetá at the front post. James Ward-Prowse goes to take it again and gets stopped again. Taps over, who's literally just pushing Mikel Antonio. Is just bent down in front of Kovar in goal. Taps over is following around Kurt Zouma. Atalanta have gone 1-0 up against Liverpool, by the way. Wild to see that happen. Again, taps over, gone once more again to Kurt Zouma. He's man for man marking him. James Ward-Prowse looks to try and whip this one in. Scrambled, but it's going to be a free kick to Bayer Leverkusen inside the goal. Kurt Zouma annoyed about it. I'm not really sure what happened there, but yeah. Skamaka gets the goal for Atalanta. Yeah, taps over. I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm not going to pretend to understand. It's just apparently not a foul and we move on. Taps over was hugging Kurt Zouma, but, we move. Whipped in from Xhaka. Ooh. It was played in and Frimpong was there and it didn't look particularly dangerous, but Emerson was the one who flicks off his foot and almost ends up in our own top corner. Almost looped into our own top corner. Just like slightly scary moment, but there we go. Whipped in. Header doesn't quite work out for Leverkusen. It's going to be a goal kick to West Ham. Adley down inside the area. Him and Mavropanos both rising for it. Yeah, no foul there. Yeah, I really liked Skamaka as a footballer, but I think he never put the work he needed to put into to sort of make the transition, and he didn't suit the system. And in that sense, we tried something last summer. We tried something. We tried to get more possession. We tried to we signed people like Kerr and Skamaka and all that stuff. And that first half of the season was god awful. It just was. We tried to change our style. It just didn't work. We were absolutely terrible. And so realistically, there was no real point in keeping him while he still had some value. You might as well get what you can for him and go again. Now the bigger problem is why we bought Danny Ings and he hasn't been replaced. That's the bigger problem. It's less Skamaka and why the hell we've still got Danny Ings is the one where I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But you know. I always find it interesting when I'm watching games like this just to hear what the commentators say because it's an oh, that's a poor pass. That's poor from us. Schick on the ball just outside the area. Finds Frimpong. We've got the numbers back now, thankfully. Little stab away, but Frimpong once again collects its shot, deflects. And I tell you what, there's some guy going to get a corner out of that when they probably shouldn't have. But yeah. I always find it interesting when I'm listening to commentators because they are reportedly neutral, at least. And they're just talking about how Xabi Alonso is going to have to go in at halftime and rethink. Shot from Tapsoba literally just doesn't get any sort of hold onto it from a semi-decent position. Goes out wide. And him saying that Alonso's going to have to rethink this because it's just not working. And the truth is that it's not for them. Like, we're not really letting them have the game they want to have, which is the right thing. So, I don't know. I feel like Moyes, well, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. I think everyone would agree Moyes would be happier out of the two managers so far in this half, but Grimaldo, that's an awful corner. Maybe one of the worst I've seen in a long, long time. And we'll take that. Thank you very much, Grimaldo. But yeah, I don't think there's anyone who would say that David Moyes wouldn't have been happier out of the two managers. Two fan bases, different story. But I think even the Moyes out of Moyes outers will be like, Moyes will be loving this. So I don't think there's anyone who would even begin to say that Moyes won't be the happier out of the two. £5 from Sharky. Thank you very much. Big up Charlie and the Cody Crybabies. Big up my fellow Cody Crybabies. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Thank you very much. Let me lob yours and Sam's name in the top as well. Just completely misspelled that. That's fine. Thank you very much, sir. And Sam as well. Massively appreciate it. And Dexter and Madman, of course, as well. All respect to Madman. Would you take 0-0, says James? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Played in, headed away from Kurt Zuma strongly. Yeah, I take 0-0 all day. If you give me a 0-0 right now, that's, yeah, offside, thank you very much. I was going to say that's offside, surely. If you give me a 0-0 right now, I'd happily take that. Yeah, offside. It was a little bit closer than I wanted it to be with Emerson just lagging behind, but it's still offside. And realistically, even if at half time I'm happy with a 0-0 as well, but at full time I'd be delighted with that. Gives us such a good opportunity in the second leg. Without Paquetá, it becomes a very difficult conversation to have, but yeah. It's almost like we shouldn't have sold Ben Rahman 4 nows, but separate story for a separate day. Paquetá with a flick on, looking for Mikel Antonio, who's just held on to by Tar and Tapsoba. It's going to be a long day for Mikel Antonio. Ball out. Kudus picks up the ball. 1 minute of stoppage time to go. Kudus. Something poor happens. James Ward-Prowse, the ball was bouncing around and now Leverkusen come away with it. I don't know why. Because they cut to the fourth official's board for some reason. Xhaka finds Palacios. Back to Adley. Back to Xhaka. Oh, yeah, 100%. But it's the argument, it's effectiveness, right? It's what's more effective and what's better to watch. Ange Ball is definitely better to watch, but we've got 4 points off in this season, so you know, it's one of those ones. And it's a conversation that will never stop. It will never die. That conversation will always go on as long as anyone who plays like that is a manager, because it's just the way it goes. There is halftime. There is halftime. 0-0. 0-0. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that. It's a difficult half, and it's about exactly what I would expect it to be. I think we've seen signs of what we want to happen. We've seen signs that the counter attack can work. It's just about whether or not we can find it more consistently than we did in that first half. I think realistically, it's obviously an unbelievably long game. It's going to keep being a long game. It's going to keep getting longer. But I think we saw signs of what we wanted to happen going forward working, just not consistently. That's the big thing for me. We want to see them committing and then be able to ping it on the counter attack faster than we have been able to, certainly in the second half of that first half. But the first half of it, we were finding, for example, we were seeing, for example, the ball out to Mikel Antonio. He takes on Jonathan Tah and beats him. The second one, ball over the top to Mikel Antonio. He fights Jonathan Tah, taps Sober. Xhaka, he fights them all off and manages to create something. Him and Kudus sort of sprinting alongside him, catching up with that pace. There's stuff there that is working. It's just we haven't been able to find it maybe as consistently as we want. However, on the other side of it, when you look at it defensively, we've been great. We've been genuinely great. We've conceded too many. It's not been perfect. Certainly, it wouldn't go as far as to say perfect. We've conceded too many. We've had 18. They've had 18 shots in that first half. That's obviously way too many. But the fact they've had 18 shots and their expected goals are so low shows that really they're not creating that big. The chances they're creating aren't huge. It's just there have been moments where they have been able to get in and find that space. But look, when you're up against it and you are dealing with that dominant a side, it's going to happen. We need to step up just slightly defensively, but going forward, that's the big difference for me. If we can find even just one or two of those balls forward in a good manner, in a good space, again, if we're able to isolate Tabsoba a little bit on the right hand side, but specifically on our right and his left, or if you can Jonathan Tah on the opposite side, especially Jonathan Tah with Mikel Antonio, that is the big one for us. If you can see Mikel Antonio, when they commit, you get Grimaldo forward, you get Frimpong forward, you've got Adley getting in there, Xhaka's just outside the area, Palacios is around there, you've got just everything in and around our box. If Mikel Antonio can drift out onto their right, our left, and just be far enough away from Jonathan Tah to where he's hesitant to commit to trying to go man-to-man with Mikel Antonio, which is what's happened in that the longer the half went on, the more him and Antonio started having a man-to-man battle, which Jonathan Tah was doing relatively well at. There were times when Mikel Antonio made them look like an absolute joke, but also, you see him when he gets touched tight, he's just going to bully the guy, and the referee for some reason lets these things go. If you can get far enough away from him to allow it there to be that element of doubt in Jonathan Tah's mind where he's like, I can't go to him because then I'm going to leave this cavernous big space in the middle. That's when Mikel Antonio can collect the ball, and as he did in that first half, just kick it and run, just huge, knock it past the guy and just sprint forward. We're not talking about dribbling. We're talking about just booting it, passing it forward almost to yourself and then just sprinting after it. Because 10 times out of 10, he will beat Jonathan Tah in that race. And that is where we can create stuff. Don't get me wrong, the second one he creates where he pulls it back and there's no one there to really take advantage of it, that was incredible. That was brilliant, but we can't rely on that sort of brilliance from Mikel Antonio. What we can, though, rely on is that kick it and run attitude. And the same thing could be said on the right-hand side with Kudus and Tabsoba. It's a little bit different because Tabsoba is nowhere near as slow as Jonathan Tah is, but at the same time, Kudus is faster than Mikel Antonio is. So we should be able to, in theory, do the same thing there. But that's the big thing I want to see us try and see if we can get more of in that second half. Even if it is just Mikel Antonio just going and standing on the left-hand touchline. If that's what he does, that's what he does. It's fine. When we are in defensive mode and he's not having to sort of get involved and he's not dropping that far back, that's fine. Just stand on the halfway line on the left-hand side. Let's give him something to think about and let's give it a very obvious out ball. Let's stretch him. Let's give him that something to think about. That's the big thing for me. Stylistically, I think we've gone about this game the right way. I really do. It's not fun. It's not a vibe. I'm not sitting here going, oh my God, yes, look at us. We're absolutely taking it to them. We're beating them. Nothing even close to that. But I think we've gone about it smartly and I think we've gone about it correctly. We are going up against a team who, let's not forget, are completely unbeaten this year, are however many points ahead of Bayern Munich are in the league. They are absolutely dominant. And they're showing it today. They're passing it around really well. They're getting into smart positions. You can see the movements and you can see the overcommitment. It's just about when we get the ball, which we will consistently do off them because they're not looking like they're being able to really break us down to the point where the commentators were just talking about it. They were just saying, I think Xabi Alonso is going to have to go in at halftime and do something different because it's not working for him right now. If we can take those opportunities, that's where it's going to be a game change for us. But we'll see. We'll see. 0-0. If you say to me it ends, if the second half is exactly like this and it ends 0-0, Jesus Christ, I take that. Because going into the second leg at the London Stadium is a huge opportunity for us, especially if it's 0-0. Without Paquetá, but that's a different problem. That's next week's problem. But for now, I'll take it. I'll take it. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Let's see where you are. Thank you all for joining. It's just over 1,200 of you in here right now. Subscribe if you haven't already. You may notice if you come here for halftime regularly, Gio is not here. He's, of course, doing the Hammers Chat live show in Stratford, which we have going on. And if we do somehow make it through to the semi-finals, then there will be another one of those at the Colour Factory in Stratford for the away leg. So, hey, if you're looking for that sort of thing, there will be videos on the forum channel and on the main channel, of course, tomorrow and every other day going into Fulham. Also talking about today. I'm sure there'll be something on the Patreon at least about the event going on today. But yeah, let's have a look at where you're standing. Let's have a look at where you're standing. Let me get a bit of this first, though. I think Zuma Pen, I think there were a couple of moments where it felt like there could be penalties for both teams. I felt like there was some. I think there was some stuff our way which maybe could have been a pen. I'm thinking specifically the Zuma Tapsoba stuff. I'm thinking specifically Mikel Antonio being absolutely manhandled by Jonathan Tah. I think equally you could probably make the argument the other way. I don't really know what counts anymore of that sort of stuff, so I just sort of go by the referee's judgment and move. When there are more obvious things like, you know, nippy challenges and whatnot, that's where I sort of come into my own. But in that sense, yeah, I mean, it's a physical game. It's a physical game. And it's going to play out like that in the second half, I would suspect. Brian says, we won the first half in my eyes, but Moyes needs to let out the boys push a bit in the second. Agree and disagree. I'm concerned about stepping out of ourselves. I feel like there is certainly something to be got at here, but I don't know if it's by stepping out, if you know what I mean. I don't know. IDK says, to be honest, beating them and getting knocked out in the second round would be a result. Look, we'll see. YSL looking for a way to watch the game. You definitely can. There are ways to watch it. If you scroll down to the link in the description below, there's a bit there called join our Discord. Lovely Hammers Chat West Ham community. Fans of all clubs are of course welcome, but more importantly, if you scroll down the left hand side, there is a bit called stream links in which you'll find what you're looking for. Bernie with the £5, thank you very much. Antonio looks like a man amongst boys out there against Leverkusen's defense. I mean, that moment where he basically took on Xhaka, Tapsoba and Jonathan Tah by himself and won was incredible. That was prime Mikel Antonio nonsense right there. Just going, flicking it over him once, flicking it over him twice, nodding it on. I mean, I'm surprised he managed it, but he did. And he looks fully up for it. And I'm hoping in the second half we see much the same, because if you can get that Mikel Antonio, then you're in for a good time. But Bernie, I'll put your name up there in a second. Dean says, still think we can sneak this 1-0. Just need one of those counters to actually finish an effort. We defend like this all day, and I don't think they'll score. Yeah, they're not creating as dangerous chances as they want to. They're creating a lot of them, but not as dangerous as they want to. Skit saying the Pac-Man booking was like, Alvarez, you're booking away from suspensions, but do the most unnecessary foul, no fault for the team. Yeah, he clearly saw red in that moment. He got angry at the initial challenge from Adley and then just went back at him. Silly from him. Again, there were calls to take him off the live chat. I definitely would not take him off, but I think it wasn't a fun thing to watch for the second leg. But like I said, that's next week's problem. I think he's calmed down now, but that moment, there was definitely a moment where he was just like, no, I'm having this guy. I'm taking him, which is not fun. I think that Tah would be a great addition to our defense, to be honest. Yeah, I think when we got linked to him in the summer, I was a big proponent of Tah. I like him a lot. I think if you look, especially under David Moyes, I mean, he would just be immense for him. Maybe that's something we revisit in the summer. Probably not, given the way their season's gone, but maybe we would revisit that in the summer if David Moyes stays. Under a different manager, probably not. Rob says, sorry, but Moyes' tactics are crap. You can't defend for 90 minutes. I would argue you can, and the Arsenal match shows otherwise. Also, we weren't defending. We were looking for the counter, but, we move. Dave B says 23%. We won nothing. I think we did. It's about how you see the first half. Who's the happier manager at halftime? Definitely David Moyes. Who's the happier fan base at halftime? Probably West Ham's. I mean, it's difficult to say because obviously there's such a specific vibe around the club currently. But, I think if you ask the squad and the team and the manager who's the happier, it would definitely be us. So in that case, we do. But, Cresswell off Johnson on says, Filippo, I see the logic and I love Ben Johnson. Personally, not for me, but I see the logic, certainly. Antonio needs to be selfish, take his chances, says Mark Cox. I would be lying if I didn't somewhat agree. I think his opportunity, I liked the pullback, but there was just no one there. But in my head, I was just thinking, just go on, smack it, go on. I'd have to have a relook at it again just to see if there was an opportunity and an angle there where he could have just walloped it. Ultimately, pulling it back is not a bad thing, but yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. Chat's skipping around like mad. Hang on a second. Chat's, do you know what? If we let's just deal with it, man. Let's just deal with it, man. Right, here we go. I don't know what some people expect, says INX. 0-0 at halftime as a result and a half. I agree. Look, here's the thing. I agree with you that's a result and a half, but I don't think... I always feel difficult with the idea of like what to expect because it is such a like personal thing. And I think we have been so good in Europe that it's difficult not to go in and expect us to take it to it. Again, I'm not looking to get into a Moyes in, Moyes out debate here. There's a lot of people in here, and if a Moyes in, Moyes out argument starts, I probably won't be able to stop it. But yeah, I feel like I don't feel like people are unnecessarily... I understand why people would want us to sort of step to them a little bit more, but at the same time, I think Moyes has done the correct thing personally. And I think 0-0 at half-time against this team, regardless of style, I think is a result so far. Again, 45 minutes to go, a long 45 minutes to go. But I think 0-0 at this point is a result. Press off, Emerson moved back, Cornet on, says Marky Boy. Again, I disagree, but I don't not see the logic, to be fair. I don't not see the logic, to be fair. Richard says Howard Azuma and Antonio incidents, not fouls. Yeah, they are unbeaten in 41 bloody games. This is perfect, says IDK. Surely it's cheating only letting one team play with the ball, says David. You'd think. Moyes has been dreaming of a forward like Antonio since the other day. I mean, he's just Mikel Antonio, man. The turnaround I have had with that guy. If you go back on old Hams chat videos, and I don't recommend you do, but 7 years ago or whatever, Upton Park, I was like, yeah, fine. But then after that, he got more and more frustrating. And it wasn't until Moyes came back where I was like, I see it now. He's gone from my most frustrating player to watch to my favourite to exist. I love him. I love watching that guy play football. What a man. Joe says, I honestly think we're doing great soaking up the pressure and frustrating them, bring on the second half. Mark says, I don't think they should be playing intricate triangles in our own penalty area. See, this is what I'm talking about when you talk about the opposite side. I think it's not exactly an unfair thing to say. We need to try and win whilst we've got Paquetá. It's not a bad point, Ian. I did find myself thinking at some point during the second half, being concerned about the idea of like, actually, is it more important that we get a win in this game, given the fact we're not going to have Paquetá in the reverse leg? And I don't know how I feel about that, and I'm sort of just putting it off at this point because it's a scary prospect. It's a scary, scary prospect. Antonio's beast. He's just incredible. He's just great. Moyes cannot understand why they're passing the ball to each other over 5 yards. He's baffled. He's scared. He's confused. Just seeing the teams are coming out now. I'm just trying to catch a glimpse to see if there's any changes yet at half time. I think it will be the same. Therefore, a pen for the Zoom incident. Guy had him at a headlock. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. Like I said, I don't really understand how these things work, so I just defer to the referee on it. But yeah. Yeah. Antonio needs to draw defender more, leaving Kudus in. That's what I want to see more of Johnny Mac. That's what I want to see more of. You know, getting into those spaces, get him into movements and triangles and sort of situations where they have to come across. That's sort of where I want to see it happen. I want to see Jonathan Tah sort of tempted to go towards him. Get close enough to him to where he's like, oh, maybe I should go for him, but not close enough to where he has to go for him and he can catch him. That's the kind of space I want to see Mikel Antonio in. The corridor of uncertainty, but on the left wing, as opposed to down, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're fouling Antonio all the time. Yeah, 100%. I think in the same way that we've probably just gone for Verts, to be fair. I don't think we are innocent in this. The same way I think we've gone for Verts. Second half is about to get underway, ladies and gentlemen. At the BayArena, it's 0-0 at halftime in this quarter-final of the Europa League. West Ham versus Bayer Leverkusen. As we get on to the second half, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to like the video because it helps us out a huge, huge amount. And Patrick Schick is the man who's going to take it forward into the second half. I don't think there's been any changes at halftime. So as he takes it, come on, you Irons, deploy the boys. It's time to run two things. Here we go. Big 45 to go. Big second half. Huge second half. He maybe he would want all life, but incredibly, he's not even on the bench. Which I didn't even notice until deep into the build-up show that we don't have any Phillips today. So he couldn't even do that if he wanted to today. Played out wide to Adley. They're passing the ball around here, Leverkusen, just outside the area. Back at exactly where it was previously. Adley again, wide on that right-hand side. Palacios. Verts looking to try and cross it in, misses. Back to him first time from Xhaka. Lining up a little bit here by Leverkusen, looking to try and pass their way into those areas yet again. Lots of people forward committed into those areas. Played out wide to Tapsoba. Could have just trying to nip in there and get the ball off him. He does well to chase him. Tapsoba does well to stop it, but I tell you what, Kudus did well to chase him down. Different scenario. He manages to get that ball away from him. Tapsoba once more. Back to Xhaka. Again, just in the exact same position they were last time. Just those defensive areas. Just pushing it forward. Just trying to find those areas of little pockets of space and not really being able to do it. And then go back into those defensive midfielders who push forwards. Be it Xhaka, be it Xhaka, Tapsoba, who maybe moves a bit further forward, or Palacios, or whoever it be. And try to sort of find a re-go around, if you want to word it that way, which does make sense. Yeah. And it's not working for them, although there's a little bit of space there for Verts. But a poor pass thankfully lands at the feet of Emerson. Dinks it forward to Paquetá. Try to nip around Stanisic. Can't quite get there, and it's going to be a throw into us. Again, those are those opportunities we need to make a little bit more of. We can't really take our time on these counter-attacks. Looking for a decisive ball forward from Leverkusen. They find Frimpong wide. James Ward-Prowse for the interception. The clearance from Emerson into the path of Paquetá. It just doesn't quite stick to him. He manages to get his foot in though, nicely there. It's well done, and Emerson with the flick forward is poor, but it's nicely done by Paquetá there. Leverkusen don't have that thing we've seen against other teams. Oh, I didn't see it, Dean. I did not see it. Let me have a scroll up. the chat was skipping around so much because there were so many people talking. I just didn't see it. Anyway, I'll have a little scroll up, see if I can see it. But yeah, I feel like there's oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm big here for it. I'm big here for it. If you don't already, check out Dean R. Marsh on Twitter. Dean's mixes are awesome. All played in, pull back. Step from Souček ends up at the hands of Fabianski. What Leverkusen don't have, again, check out if you haven't already, Dean R. Marsh on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And then Dean's Mix Cloud, which I think is just Dean Marsh. Dude's mixes are sick. An ISO mix, always a good time. Always a good time. But yeah, I feel like they don't have what other teams have had against us, which is that turn of pace. They obviously have quick players in your Frimpongs and whatever else, but there are times where we're facing other teams and we're doing sort of similar stuff to what we're doing today, where, you know, they're able to just click, 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 and then go really fast at us and really pull us apart. Jonathan Tah, free kick against Mikel. I don't know how that's against Mikel Antonio there. I thought it was the other direction. How many bells do you got? A whole nest. A whole nest. And I think part of their inability to do that is that we're just not letting them. Don't get me wrong. I do think we're just not letting them. Having said that, I do think there is I do think they just don't have that, which is something they would need against us. And it's something we talk about constantly on these videos, right? Is when Frimpong fires it across, straight at the feet of Vladimir Sifao, tries to hook it away into the path of Antonio and Kudus. Now we can get there. Mikel Antonio is going to chase this one down. Jonathan Tah going to end up passing it back to the goalkeeper. We have one player in their half, and that is Mikel Antonio. I do think a lot of it is we're just not letting them. But yeah, Viet's looking to try and play it through. Can't make it happen. Little foot away from Mavropanos. Wild foot in there. Kudus does well to get the ball. I don't know what he's going to do with it. I mean, Kudus does these things sometimes where he puts in a lot of effort into something that makes no sense and then just finds himself in awkward positions. But, you know, Paquetá looks to try and turn and play it away backwards. This is nice. James from pass. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Go, go, go. No, don't stand around passing it. Go. Try and pull it back. I will just remind everyone not to spam. Don't mind you being in here, just don't spam. Got Roland speaking. Is that Welsh? It looks Welsh to me. It looks Welsh to me. My uneducated brain. Thomas Souček on the ball. Referee pulls it back for a free kick. Don't do that. Oh, flipping on. Problem. Oh, I need to put the names in the top. I forgot about that. It's a free kick against Paquetá. It's going to be a drop ball. Don't think it was actually a free kick, to be fair. I think it's just going to be a drop ball. Bernie, thank you for the $5. Name in the top corner. Ball back. Played forward, trying to find this. Again, this is those times I'm talking about. We've maybe got one too many people forward in a sense that we would want defensively, and so that's when Leverkusen want to turn it on, go for it a little bit faster, and they just don't. Just not really doing it. Henners, Charlie, how are we doing this half? Same as first. Same as the first. Commentator was just saying how they felt like this is the best period we've had. For me, I feel like, I don't know, just not really anything there. Just not really anything there. It's a good opportunity for them. Verts doesn't pull the trigger, and he should have. He 100% should have. He got an opportunity out of nowhere in a really strong position, and instead of pulling the trigger, he tries just too much and completely loses out the moment there. That was a huge opportunity for Florian Wirtz. I'm surprised he didn't pull the trigger as soon as he got the opportunity there. Roland, I don't know if finish is allowed either, to be fair. I don't know if finish is allowed either. I just got to moderate both. Mikel Antonio battling for the ball. It drops down maybe for Kudus, who doesn't commit to it. Nodded down from James Ward-Prowse is a nice idea, but doesn't quite work. Mavropanos, is that going to be a foul for us? Yeah, it is. Free kick to us. 10 minutes into the second half. Commentator was just saying the neutrals. I wish it was. I wish it was vodka. It's just water. It's just water. I feel like the commentator was just talking about, from a neutral perspective, wanting this game to open up, and that's literally the only thing we don't want to happen. Someone gone down very emphatically there. Yellow card for Emerson. Not entirely certain what happened, but I just heard screaming start. I saw the thought of legs in there. There was a bit of everything against Adley, who's decided to go back down. Emerson steps across. Yeah, Emerson. He goes to try and control the ball, then rolls off and hits the foot. It's a yellow. It's a yellow. Does that mean he misses the next game as well, Bolo? I think it was a mistake there from Emerson, but there we go. Oh, huge, Dean. Huge jealous. Very, very jealous. Very, very jealous. Paquetá looks to get the control from Mikel Antonio. Back to Emerson. Back to Paquetá. Back to Emerson. Keeping it in such a tight space was all right, but yeah, is Emerson? Does that mean Emerson's out for next week as well? Yeah, everyone's saying it. Annoying. Very, very annoying. Played through. Great opportunity. Straight at Fabianski. I think he was offside regardless. I think Schick. I know it's Wirtz. But again, he's really good at finding space, isn't he? He's really good at finding space, is Florian Wirtz. Just consistently seems to find it. Yeah, he was offside. He gets the control, hits it. Thankfully, it's directly at Fabianski. We force him into a wider space than he'd want to take those shots from. But he's very good at Raudendeuter, like space investigator. Yes, thank you, Leon. Appreciate it. Oof. Next summer's going to be a thing, isn't it? Oh, could have so much managing to keep that one in. The ball through from Paquetá. Couldn't quite got on the end of it and make something happen. I know, James. I know. It would have been useful. Would have been useful. Yeah, he doesn't try. He doesn't try it. It's yeah. Good to see, sir. We're doing. I think we're doing okay. But yeah. Frimpong tries through the lines. The pullback it's a decent pullback where there isn't a single soul there for Bayer Leverkusen. Well, at least it alleviates some sort of decision headaches, because you know you can definitely play Paquetá and Emerson in the Fulham game at least. and not have to worry about running him into the ground. All it means is Bele's time to shut. That's what we were looking for in Collingwood. That's what we were looking for, sir. Tapsoba plays it into Xhaka as Leverkusen go again. Played into space, dropped back out again. Frimpong. Laid short by Palacios for Xhaka, who looks to try and bend the cross in, nodded away. Nicely done. Oh, Atalanta have gone 2-0 up. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So far, looking to try and maybe win a throw in there, fails. And again, it's opening up a little bit. I don't like this. It's opening up a little bit in the second half. Maybe some tired legs and stuff, but we're stretching a little bit, maybe looking to see if we can get a goal. And there's times, again, if they just learn to put their foot through it and step on the gas a little bit more, it could be really dangerous. Great interception from Soufal that time. Finds Kudus. Don't make a mistake this time. We need this. We need this. He's got the overlap there from Lucas Paquetá. Mikel Antonio is so far over on the left-hand side. Not really sure. Paquetá's just going to take on Tapsoba. He was trying to draw a foul. Pulls it inwards. Tries one person too much, easily nipped away. And again, these are those situations where it's opened up a little bit. And if they could find that, just that foot on the gas a little bit, Leverkusen, then they'd be able to really damage us from these positions. And actually, the fact they're not finding it consistently is maybe giving me a little bit more space to sort of step into that gap. Skamaka with another goal. Wild. Kudus looking to try and control and go forward. Finds Paquetá, who switched out to... He switched with Mikel Antonio. Mikel Antonio far wide on this left-hand side. I see the... Well, I don't know. We'll see if this is an intentional or just a covering section. But you could see the idea if it was that. Trying to sort of put a bit of pace on, force Frimpong back slightly because he's not got the freedom to sort of step to Lucas Paquetá in the same way he would to Mikel Antonio. Soufal looks to try and dink it in towards Paquetá. Can't find it. He battles well. Kudus nips in. Nice touch. Finds Paquetá, who can't quite find it. Does a second time. Kudus. He has Soufal on the overlap here. This is a decent opportunity. Kudus finds him in not a lot of space. I guess we'll take the free kick. I would have preferred the open play stuff, but I guess we'll take the free kick. Tapsoba with the foul on Mohamed Kudus. Yeah, I mean, it's easy enough. Ward-Prowse, it's basically a deep corner. Is it bell time? Listen, if the people go for it, the people go for it. But yeah, basically a deep corner. Let's see what happens. Kurt Zuma in there. Mavropanos at the back post. Ward-Prowse to take the free kick. We've got our big men towards the back. Souček's around Zuma and Mavropanos as well. Whipped in towards that area. Jonathan Tah, just absolutely massive, gets up. Kurt Zuma's struggling a little bit there with something. I don't know what happened to him. He was holding his face. And he hasn't tracked back here. And this is a good counter-attacking opportunity for Leverkusen. Adley goes through the lines, finds Frimpong on the right-hand side, fires it across. And tell you what, is that James Ward-Prowse? Does really well there getting back. Really, really well. The bench for West Ham is Anang, Knightsbridge, Johnson, Ogbonna, Aged, Casey, Orford, Urfi, Cornet, Ings, and Mubama. Bell. I think there's been enough calls. We'll put a poll in chat now, asking whether or not Bell is a thing we need, and I'll give it until 65 and a half. Give it the old 90 seconds, maybe 65 and a half, 66, something like that. Played back. Adley does well to play it to his left. Frimpong looking to try and dribble his way into the box and tries to. His firing across the boxes directly into the hands of Fabianski, who throws it quickly to Soufal. This is a good opportunity. He finds Paquetá. Him and Antonio have permanently switched, by the way. The problem is that, or Paquetá does well just to hold off Verts and Xhaka. And then a nice ball out to Mikel Antonio. The problem is we're not being able to find him sort of in deeper positions. The pass back from Antonio is horrendous. Horrendous. Part of my problem is I don't mind us switching Paquetá and Antonio. I kind of like that as idea, but we need to then utilize Mikel Antonio, which we're just not doing right now. The ball gets switched very quickly to the right hand side. You're talking Soufal, Kudus, Paquetá floating over that way, and it just means Mikel Antonio just sort of stood there. And I'm like, he's got space to run at Jonathan Tah here. He's got space to run at Stanisic, and whoever else is there. Ooh, Soufal's gone down quite emphatically. And the referee is very urgently calling across the team. I didn't actually see what happened. It happened off camera there. Grimaldo hits it. Ooh, the cross just pings off the temple and the ear, the side of the head of Soufal, who went down quite emphatically. Grimaldo checked on him, and hopefully he seems to be okay, but it was very emphatic. But yeah, I don't mind them switching those people around, but when you're in that position, I want to see something else, I want to see us being able to find the ball out to him, and right now we're not doing it. I find a lot of stuff on the right-hand side. While this happens, there's going to be a double sub from them. We've got a 69. You'll love to see it on the... what do you call it? The bell poll for yes. I'll be grabbing that in a sec. So Frimpong, first one coming off. On in his place. Former Southampton man, Teller. Insanely. Stanisic is the other one coming off. For Hincapié. Kind of wild to see that happen, to be honest. It shows what we're doing is working in that sense, and they're having to try and figure it out. But yeah, right, we're going to get a drop ball. I'm going to go grab a bell. I'm also going to refill my water at the same time. So I'll be a couple of seconds. Hopefully I don't miss. Bell acquired. Water acquired. Thank Christ. I'm getting dehydrated. Worse from the current attack. Tell you what, Mikel Antonio did really well there. Fighting for it again. I mean, it's just my luck that the one time I leave the room is the time I get to see Mikel Antonio doing exactly what I wanted to see him do the entire game. Bell. Do you know what it is, right? Do you know what it is, Amma? That Amsterdam thing. I always get flack. I've got flack the entire time we've been doing videos. For 8.5 years, almost 9 years, we've been doing Ham's Chat. And I always get flack. People going, oh, it's not West Ham enough. You don't have a West Ham enough background. Wherever I am, the old flat, this flat, other rooms, always that. So I just make it blue, and then, that's all that's all I got. Tap sober. Ooh. On the back of Mikel Antonio there. Is that a foul? But yeah, so it's just, just is what it is. Here you go. Foul from Thomas Suchek. There we go. Bell achieved. Foul from Thomas Suchek. Is that Nintendo games? It's a lot of games, yeah. You've got PlayStation here. You've got PS5. You've got... There's some Switch. There's some Wii ones here. Some DVDs. You've got DS here. There's like loads. I've got over some of them. I've got too many games. Also, to answer your question very briefly, Steve, who seems to grasp more than Danny. Yeah, look at him. Don't look him up on football stuff and see that he's an Arsenal fan. I'm not interested. To answer your question, Steve, about Mavropanos, I really, really like him. I think he has a mistake in him, but I really like him, and I think he's the future of our defence, personally. Played out wide. Header. Oh, that was maybe the best opportunity Leverkusen have had there. It was Patrick Schick with the header from almost inside the 6-yard box, and Fabianski does brilliantly to match it. Again, just that little bit more open from going in. Kudus with a foul. The wave on, it's good. It's good play on from the referee, to be fair. Sufal came flying across, and then the header from the cross. I think it's from... I'm not sure who managed to get the cross in a sense. And Fabianski does absolutely brilliantly to stop it. Fingertips just clawing towards it to stop it from getting in there. Beautifully done from Fabianski. Shot from range from Xhaka. Deflects upwards. Paquetá looking to try and nod it on. Can't make it work. Back out wide again. Emerson meets Jonathan Tah, was looking for the cross, and it's going to be a throw-in. $20 minutes to go. 19 plus stoppage time, which doesn't seem like it's going to be super long yet, but still 0-0. Fabianski pulling off a couple of brilliant saves. That one, notably, I think that's the best chance Leverkusen have had. Looking to try and play it around now. Leverkusen again. The horseshoe in full effect. West Ham come away with it. Kudus wins a free kick. I guess it's the best he could have done there. There were 3 people around him. He wasn't going to get out of that scenario, so I guess a free kick's the best you can do. But again, I just don't like... He just has this habit of running into alleyways. Moyes having a big conversation with Johnny Heitinger at the moment. Just called him across to have that conversation. Mavropanos with the free kick from deep. Huge boot across to Mikel Antonio on wide on the left-hand side. Good control from him. Wiggles past his first man. Beats his second. Mikel Antonio does really well here. Pullback is nice. It just wasn't the option there. It was so well done as well from Mikel Antonio. It just weren't anyone in the place he pulled it back to. You got Paquetá trying to push Jonathan Tah back, and so close. So close. Leverkusen going for the rotation once more. Passing it around just outside the area. Xhaka from range. Wide. Fabianski had it covered. They're looking a bit more open to shoot from range at this point. Yet to register a shot in this second half, although significantly less shots from them. Significantly less. Yeah, that's kind of... I mean, it's a sign that their frustration is growing and they don't really have many ideas, if we're being honest about it. Mikel Antonio does really well 1v1 there. He does brilliantly. That's a free kick as easy like Mikel Antonio. I tell you what, he is having a good game. He's having a long and difficult game, but he's doing so well and they just do not know how to deal with him at all. That Boniface, he looks like he's about to come on. Hoffman, Boniface looks like they're both about to come on. But yeah, Mikel Antonio, man, he's having a long game, but he's just They just don't know how to deal with it. They just do not know how to deal with him at all. Here comes the resulting free kick. James Ward-Prowse to take it wide on the left-hand side, basically on the touchline, about 35, 40 yards away from goal. He's going to try and whip it into a dangerous area, and he does, but there's no one attacking it in the space that we want it to. Kovar collects it, big boot forward, but thankfully, I would have preferred him to control that down, Ward-Prowse, but we get it back forward, and we can reset defensively as they go to try and attack again. I can't see anyone else. I can't see giving it to anyone else. The guy just does not stop, does he? Fabianski's another good shout, to be fair, Hammer. AMA's right. Fab's a good shout as well. Right, here we go. Some more changes from Bayer Leverkusen. So Adley and Schick coming off. For Boniface and Hoffman. Ball down the line, looking for Victor Boniface. Kurtzuma easily collects that one. Cleared away. Yeah, I'm trying, Ben. I'm trying. It's difficult because the chat's like skipping around at the same time, but I'm giving it my best, Ben. Emerson doing well to dribble around, but just gets pushed off the ball a little bit too easily there. Again, it allows him, this formation allows him to sort of do these sort of things. Yeah, the chat's going really fast, Dean. Don't worry about it. Paquetá, good control, tries to get it inwards past Jonathan Tah, can't manage it. Ruthless. That's what I'm here for. No remorse. Pow, pow. Oh, Sat's here. Good to see you, Sat. Hope you're well. How many shots does Kudus have so far? I mean, I don't think any. I think we've only had one, no? I'm looking at Sofa score. We've had one shot. Who was it? Can't remember who it was. Oh, Bonif, it's through. Fabianski once again. Hoffman flying through from Victor Boniface's through ball. And he comes flying across to stop it. Beautifully done. No, Kudus had one shot. He's the guy who had the shot. Boniface again, just inside the area, looking to battle his way through. James Ward-Prowse for the stop. Nice. Oh, it's going to be a goal kick. Okay, I thought it was a corner. Boniface does brilliantly there. And again, just not letting Hoffman go. Mavropanos a bit deeper, plays him on sides. Fabianski did brilliantly there. That's not Fabianski's shtick either. Coming out quickly like that sweeper-keeper type vibe, that's not his shtick at all. Does really well there. Again, it feels like there's a two-horse race for man of the match, and it's him and Antonio. played forward from Emerson, looking for Antonio down that left hand side. It's gonna be a free kick against him somehow. You watching in Idaho? No, I'm watching in London, Jimmy. It's on a Discovery Plus, which I currently have access to, so I can watch it. The European football. Played out Kincape looking for Grimaldo. Mavropanos comes and stops that one. The horseshoe begins for Leverkusen. 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go. I'm not sure, Wesley. It's a question Gio would be able to answer instantaneously. I can't remember. If anyone in chat can answer Wesley's question, do let Wesley know. I'm not certain. I don't believe so, but I'm not certain. Back to Wirtz, looking to try and work his way in. Shot from range is straight into the hands of Fabianski. No stress from that one. Again, just another long range hit out of more desperation than anything, and straight into the hands of Fabianski, who literally didn't even have to move. Just thank you, Monkey. It's very kind of you to say. Again, getting ready to come on. Interesting. Cresswell would maybe be the idea. I just have to drop a couple of messages. Over here with a sticky joint. Airshine. I'll take that, Mike. I'll take that. Wirtz out wide. Again, they're just trying to find their way in here. Wirtz plays it out wide. Hoffman cleared away from Zuma. We've opened up just a little bit, and Teller coming on, and the changes have sort of worked a little bit, but it does feel like it's just this second half has been more open than the first, but they've had nowhere near the amount of shots they had in the first half. So despite all the changes, a lot of their shots are coming from range and they're not that effective. It just does feel like there's that tiny bit of space for them if they could make it work. Nods it down, Boniface hits it. 3-0 Atalanta, by the way. Hit again! Oh, that's 1-0. Then Hoffman with the goal. And it was one of those long-range shots. It was one of those nothing-key long-range shots through a sea of people ahead of him. I don't know how late Fabianski would have seen it. But it was just one of those long-range just efforts. Hooking it with his left foot from range, and it goes into the bottom corner. It's a massive, massive shame because we've done so well before that. The corner gets whipped in from Grimaldo. It bounces back out off the block from Zuma. Yeah, I think Fabianski sees it super late. Zuma dives in, gets the block, and it's a volley from Hoffman. And yeah, Fabianski doesn't see it at all. There's so many people ahead of him. He has no idea where it is until late. It's not a great hit. It's not in the corners. It's not particularly hard done. He's just swung his leg at it. Pure chance in that one. It's really unfortunate. It is 1-0 to Leverkusen. One 0. Crap. Bill, thank you for the $10. Watching with you. Believe we can win this. Look. I believe we can do it over the 2 legs as well, Bill. I really do. Even if we could still get a draw here. we could still 100% get a draw in this game, to be honest with you. I think Leverkusen haven't shown themselves to be unreal defensively, and going forward, they've not really had anything. So I feel like realistically, I feel like both could happen, and I feel like over the 2 legs we've shown it. It's just a shame that they scored when they did, because it was so close to being an incredible defensive display. Bets goes down, no free kick, but thank you for the $10, sir. Thank you for the $10. Your name will be appearing there in just a moment. Verts out wide to Boniface, looking to try and load up the cannon for a shot. Good defending from from Souček and Soufal. Kudus comes across, nips the ball in, loses it out instantaneously, but he does well the second time, and this is a good opportunity for him. Striding forward, don't run into that dead end. He falls over. He falls over. I tell you what, Paquetá does really well to fight for that one. Does brilliantly. Finds him. Then tries to give him the option. Kudus is about 15 men on him. Who scores? I missed it. JL. It was Hoffman. Swing of the left foot. It was relatively lucky. But yeah, it was a Hoffman goal. Getting a slow-mo of Xabi Alonso explaining something to someone. Sure. Corner comes in, headed back across goal. Boniface hits it. It's a good block from Kurt Zuma, and Hoffman just literally swings a leg at it on the volley. It's not particularly well hit. It's not clean. It's not powerful. It's not towards any of the corners. But Fabianski unsighted. It comes through a sea of shirts, and he sees it way too late. Happens, unfortunately. Free kick. Here come the substitutes from us. Mavropanos comes off, and Aged comes on, and Ben Johnson has also come on for, I'm not sure who, for Kudus, I think it was for Kudus, which is yeah, it was for Kudus, which I guess resting at this point a little bit, but yeah. Good for Mav. That's what it looks like. Yeah, okay, cool. That's right. Hikape finds Xhaka. 1-0 honestly isn't the end of the world. 1-0 isn't the end of the world. It's not ideal. It's not what we want going into it, but it gives us a chance. Played into Boniface, can't get anywhere near a solid header on it. Ben Johnson battles. And does well. I'll tell you what, he did well as well. It's going to be a free kick in the end, but he does well in the air. It's not good, but if you'd said to me 1-0 before the game, I would have accepted it. You know? The problem is the Paquetá thing. That's the real big miss for the second leg. That's the real big miss for the second leg is Paquetá. Whipped in. Oh, great opportunity. Tar block is strong from, again, shot across the line. Blocked from Souček, and again off the line from Thomas Souček, and then the third one goes over the top. A huge, insane ending. Jonathan Tah so close. Ball gets whipped in from Grimaldo. Hooked. Mick Antonio with the first one. Blocked from again the second time. The second shot comes in. Thomas Souček blocks it. Third shot comes in. Thomas Souček blocks it. And a fourth shot from Jonathan Tah, leaning back a bit too much. Can't quite get it in. Close. No, FEB, it's not really optimism. It's just honesty, right? If you said to me 1-0 loss before the game, I would have taken it. If you said to me 1-0 loss with Paquetá not being available for the next game, that would have been a bit more of a difficult question. And I'm not sure without Paquetá what we can do. He's the big game changer. I know people at the moment have been talking about it being Mikel Antonio, and he does not change the game. But for me, it's definitely the case of it's definitely a Paquetá thing. Also, Mr. Hammer, I understand that what I'll say is I understand the need for what's the word I'm looking for? The need to be proven right. But I would once again point you at Arsenal and say it's possible. I don't know what you want from me. We've done it. I don't know what you want from me here. I don't know what you want from me. Again, I know the idea of wanting to be proved right, but I'm just saying. Late shot from Verts. Hoffman whips it in. Back post header. 2-0. There's Victor Boniface as well. Simple. That one's just so simple. It wasn't all the complicated stuff. It was the simple stuff. 2-0. Boniface gets the goal. He almost falls over and tries to he falls over doing the Kudus thing. 2-0 no Paquetá becomes a significantly bigger problem. 2-0 no Paquetá becomes a significantly bigger problem. It's a massive shame. We've done so well. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think it might be over. Unfortunately, I think that's it. And it's such basic nonsense as well. The ball get played in is relatively decent, and Boniface just rises up. He's in between Kurt Zuma and Aaron Cresswell. Kurt Zuma just completely misjudges it, goes forward, steps forward, goes for the header. It's over the top of him, and Boniface with a really nice header at the back of it. 2-0. I'm not sure we can do it after 2-0 with no Paquetá. I'm not sure. 1-0. 1-0, I would have given it to us, but 2-0, I don't know. 2-0, I don't know. Unfortunately. It's a shame. Shame because we've done so well. But it is what it is. 3 minutes of stoppage time, so we have a minute and a half left. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's really all I've got to say, to be honest. Having said that, I've got to go and talk about it on a review very shortly in a minute. For a long period, well, for not for a long period of time, but just for some time. So it's not all I've got to say on it. I've got to figure out how to say it all again in different ways. But yeah. So basic. The first goal wasn't really anything. The second one was such a basic goal to concede. It's just like all of the fancy stuff we stopped. The good passing, the quickness, all of that stuff we managed to deal with. And it was just a basic cross up in the box. It's just basic cross into the box. It's just so... I did say before the game, I said, do I think they'll score any less than 2? No. I said I think we would score 1, and we haven't been anywhere near good enough in that sense. We've seen the opportunity. Xhaka shot from range, goes straight into Fabianski. It's going to be full time in a second. But yeah. It's so annoying. So annoying. There we go. Full time. Full time. A huge shame. A huge shame. Because it was so good before that. But, 2 late goals. 2 late goals. Victor Boniface and Jonas Hoffman getting the goals. Oh well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I will be live. There will be a review live in just a few moments' time. Check that out in a second. There is the link spammed in the chat for you. Do head over there and like the video there because it will help me out massively. And do join me over there because I'm not sure how the hell I'm going to be able to deal with that. Or what I'm even going to say. We'll find out when we get there, I guess. But thank you very much for coming. It's unfortunately for us a 2-0 loss by Leverkusen with 2 late goals. And it's an incredibly disappointing one for us. Could and maybe should have been better. Maybe should have been better. 50% of the job we did was good defensively. Attackingly is not a word. Attacking wise, just weren't quite there. And yeah. Appreciate you, Zombie. Appreciate everyone who joined. Massively appreciate it. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe, like the video because it helps us out massively. Do go over to the live match review, which I'll be live in a few seconds time, or a few minutes. I've got to go to the toilet first. But do head on over there and like that video because that will help me out massively as well. Without Gio and Gonzo and me doing literally everything to try and hold this fort down, I would massively appreciate you all. And if you've been here for it all, even if you're a troll, massively appreciate you. We'll be back for the Fulham game. And then of course we'll be back for everything else in between, but head on over to the review, get involved. Appreciate you all. Last thank you to Madman, to Dexter, to Sam, to Sharky, to Bernie, and to Bill Lumber. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you on the review in a second, and then I'll see you for the next watch along at the weekend. Cheers everyone.